Yeah.
And away we go. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, your pharaoh of physical media, which I realized I forgot to put into this show, so I can't show you the picture. I'm Robert Meyer Burnett, and this is Let's Get Physical Media, episode 125. And of course, it isn't a show. I mean, you saw me fly solo last week, and usually when I'm showing people how I fly solo, I get paid for that. Oh, wait, you did. You gave me super chats and tips. What did you think I meant? Anyway, I have him back. It's not a show without your favorite German, my favorite German, everybody's favorite German, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, Mr. Dieter Bastian. Dieter, how are you?
Rob, I'm glad to be back, and I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter, here I am, and rock you like a hurricane.
Ooh.
I hope this was better,
Woo-hoo.
Rob.
I tingled with that one.
Yeah, because 14 days ago, someone said that was lackluster energy, and I had to put up something else. And I don't know if it was observation or on Let's Get Physical Media, because you wanted me to say, Achtung, baby, because U2 is playing their residency at that insane structure where they had to build a crane to build the goddamn thing. It's insane, the sphere, Rob. Rob, were you there already? Have you seen the sphere from the outside?
No. I've seen the sphere from the outside because they were building it when I was at CinemaCon. Dude, it's insane.
Yeah.
But seeing pictures and everybody going crazy for it, it's clearly the concert venue in the world. You know, I think it's a great place. And everyone I've talked to that's been in there has said it's amazing. Yeah. I want to say John Campia went maybe this weekend.
Okay.
I'm not sure that but Achtung Baby is my favorite U2 album. And I really, really, really want to go. I just, money's a little tight. So it's, and you want to go there, and I just want to go inside. I also want to take a tour of it and see how it all works. And really an amazing venue.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media, where hopefully we have a lot of physical media to show, and perhaps a little later some collector's controversy to talk about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's controversial.
How collecting has a little bit changed here in my place, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Listen, I don't want to belabor this point, but I would just like to. I find it a little difficult to be mirth-filled and talking about things like Let's Get Physical Media with what happened this weekend in Israel. I've been to Israel. I have friends from Israel. I was invited to speak at the Tel Aviv Cinematheque back in 2005. I went there with Roger Nygaard, and who made Trekkies, and so we both showed our films and spoke. The mayor of Tel Aviv brought us the key to the city and all this, and it was at the Icons Festival. It was one of my favorite events that I've ever been brought to or that I ever went to. And one of the first things that they did to me when I got there was they're like, let's go over to the Arab Quarter and get some food. And it was one of the things that really struck me about Tel Aviv is how open, progressive, pluralistic the society is. It truly is a cosmopolitan place, and it's very technologically advanced. I've never been anywhere else where cell phone service is better. And I understand that there's a lot of controversy. I won't get into it. I've studied it for quite some time. But what happened yesterday, make no mistake, was a despicable act on every level, and you can judge a lot of people by the way they treat their murdered victims, and I think it's really telling, and basically as always in the Middle East, it's a war between the modern age and an ancient time that we've grown out of. And now we have Hamas saying that Iran was behind it. Frankly, I won't express my true feelings on the matter here, but it was despicable. And Israel has the only parliamentary democracy in the entire Middle East, and they allow anybody they want to live there. And it is not an apartheid state, much of academia wants to declare it. And I wish people would look in to see what apartheid really is and what happened in South Africa. That is not what happens in Israel. Anyway, therein ends my what I want to say. So we can get. I just want to say that. I thought it was important to say it.
But we can go back, Rob, to physical media. When you were in Tel Aviv, was it where they asked you about pirating the movies?
Yes. So what I thought was quite funny when I was in Tel Aviv is, I would say, when I say many people, it had to have been 25 at least. Everybody kept coming up to me and asking. They were all like sheepish, saying, "Look, oh, by the way, I should have pulled it out today. I don't know where it is, to be honest. I have a DVD of Batman Begins with the cover in Hebrew." Ooh. I'll tell you another story, and I've told this story before, but this is an amazing story. So, in 1984, my grandmother and grandfather went to Israel, and I asked my grandmother, because I collect foreign movie posters, I said, "Could you get me a poster, a Hebrew movie poster, a movie with Hebrew writing?" And she goes, "Well, Bob, I can try, and this is the best." So she comes back, they have a great time. My grandparents come back from the trip, and I say to my grandmother, I'm like, "So Grandma," I called her Sissy, everyone called her Sissy. I said, "Sissy, I said, were you able to get me a movie poster?" And she played this so well. She said, "Yeah, I went to a theater and I wanted to see if I could get a poster for my grandson, and the theater's like, well, okay." And they brought out a big stack of posters, and they said I couldn't look through the posters, but they were happy to let me take one. And she reaches in and she pulls out the poster, and she took it with her and went about her day. And then when she got back to her hotel room, she unfolded it, and she looked at it, and she said, and the way she played it, she's like, "Well, I looked at it, and and then I'm like," and she goes, "Well, I hope you like it." And she hands me the poster, and I unfolded it. It was a Hebrew Return of the Jedi poster.
Perfect.
My grandmother and my grandfather are no longer with us. So, magic happens in Israel, and let me just say, of all the places in the Middle East, if you were going to go live someplace, Israel would be the place I would want to live. And, Tel Aviv's gotten a lot more expensive since Madonna went there and bought an apartment. But, my heart goes out to everybody in Israel. And once again, they
came up to you and asked us and had to tell you, we are pirating a little bit stuff here.
So, we
could get it.
They were. I didn't finish that. So everybody was asking me about how I felt about piracy, because they couldn't get anything. They only like the biggest titles would come to Israel, but they all were like sheepish and apologetic. And I said, "Look, man. I guess I was representing the entire motion picture industry." And I said, if someone's not going to make something available in your country commercially, what choice do you have? If they're, and admittedly, Israel is a small country, but they're very technologically advanced. And I would say, now I'm sure they have access to all the streaming services and all that, and the streaming services. But now I'm sure they can get whatever they want. But back at the time, but the fact that they showed concern, and it was a fan event. By the way, it was a great fan event too. It was really, really awesome. And and people were and they put me up in Tel Aviv at this. It was called the Cinema. I think it was called the Cinema Hotel, and it was an old movie theater that was converted into a hotel.
Cool.
It was awesome.
Very cool.
and it was close to the beach. Although I had to, truth be told, the world over, nerds are like the world over. And so, you know, I had to take these people out. We're like, we're going out, folks. And I got them to do shots and dance on tables and all that. It was great. It's great.
Awesome.
So shout out to Israel and everybody there. This despicable, horrible, inhuman terrorist attack, which, by the way, you know, is a reminder that the Jews must be ever vigilant. And seeing the response around the world, especially in academic circles, is very, 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 very disappointing. Performance activists, do your history. And my LGBTQ brothers and sisters and non-binary folk, check into how the Palestinians treat LGBTQ people and look at the rights of LGBTQ people. So before you condemn Israel, you should look into how your LGBTQ brothers and sisters are treated in these countries and even in Palestine. Be careful when you come out with your vociferous anti-Jewish sentiment. Just saying. So back to the show at hand. I'm sure people have all tuned out. I'm tired of it, though. You know, I mean, this was a despicable terrorist attack. Yep. This was Pearl Harbor. This was 9/11, and there will be, and unfortunately, hell to pay. So, and my heart goes out to the people of Iran who do not deserve the leadership that they have. Get rid of those mullahs. Get rid of the theocracy, because the Iranian government was set up in a very interesting way as well, and it's the theocracy that causes all of this, and it's too bad. You know, and for those of you who signed up for the selective service, make sure everything's in order, because we might have just seen the beginnings of what will become World War III. Who knows?
So let's try to collect as long as we can, Rob.
I bet you want to know about. The box office.
Exactly, Rob.
Let's hear about the box office.
Because there's a new movie coming out that I actually don't care for, but I want to know how it did.
First of all, did you see it? Did it open in Germany?
No.
Dude,
yes, it opened in Germany, but I haven't seen it.
Dude, I didn't even do a show last night. I was so upset.
Okay.
And I went and saw it last night.
Oh, okay.
It was not. Yesterday was not the day for me to go see a Blumhouse continuation of my favorite horror film of all time.
So, objective opinion.
Okay, first of all, before I say anything, the only review I cared about was Mark Kermode's review.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching Mark Kermode, and I felt Mark Kermode's pain, because I felt like, wow, this is like what it must be like to watch me talk about modern Star Trek on the internet. I mean, first of all, his takedown was beautiful. But I have to say, you know, I've admired what Blumhouse has done for the most part. You know, their model $5 million movies, using Universal's distribution theatrically to make money. What they like, M. Night Shyamalan was able to reinvigorate his career when he made The Visit, and like Lee Whannell making Invisible Man for $8 million, and it makes, you know, 100 million worldwide. I have often admired what Blumhouse has done. Now, to be fair, Mr. Greens, who directed the 3 Halloween movies, I didn't like those at all. But again, they did respectable business. The first one certainly did, but I didn't like them at all. And I was not excited for this. And I could tell when I saw the first trailer that this movie wasn't going to be good. That it was a real misunderstanding, because the Exorcist is a drama. First and foremost, it is a drama about a man who has lost, a Catholic priest who has lost his faith, who's riddled with guilt over the lonely death of his mother, and there's so much more going on in the movie than the spitting, the vomiting, and the turning the heads around. And ever since then, that's what people focus on, and this movie clearly was focusing on that. And I thought this movie was like a 7th grader's interpretation, and this is an affront to 7th graders. It was a 7th grader's interpretation of The Exorcist, and I hated this movie. I hated this movie with like every fiber of my existence. And the fact, I mean, we've got 2 Exorcist prequels. We've got your boy Rennie Harlan's remake of Paul Schrader's Exorcist the Beginning, or whatever. And then you've got The Exorcist II: The Heretic, which is easily one of the worst sequels ever made. Now, if you took the name Exorcist II off the movie and you didn't know it was an Exorcist sequel and just called it The Heretic, it still wouldn't be a very good movie. But it would be an interesting movie because it is fairly interesting. But as an Exorcist sequel, it's horrible. Then you have William Peter Blatty, who made Exorcist III, which is deeply flawed indeed, but still, I think, a great movie with one of the great screenplays ever written for a horror film. And then you have the 2-season running Exorcist TV show that I'll come out and say is way better than it has any right to be. The first season with Gina Davis, I thought, which was a sequel, was terrific. And the second season, while it was took a turn, it was still very, very good. The idea that Universal and Blumhouse shelled out $400 million for the rights to make this movie, and then we get this. I mean, it was, and then, okay, so let's get to it.
Yeah,
let's get to today's
score
box
wasn't
office.
happy too.
If anyone's still watching this show, I don't know if they are. No, there's 196 people. I want to thank you for living through my rant. So think about that. So the $400 million, I believe, is a rights payment. That doesn't cover the budget of actually making the movies. So here we go. And of course, this comes from our friend Anthony D'Alessandro in Deadline. Not even the devil himself could help Universal and Blumhouse this weekend with the opening of The Exorcist Believer. That's after the studio bought the franchise rights for a trilogy from Morgan Creek back in 2021 for $400 million. Even though this is the best opening for an Exorcist movie with 27.2 million stateside, 45.1 million global, heads are low over at Universal City. However, their slide rule for determining break-even and profitability on this particular film is being measured against Believer's $30 million production cost. What? Read on. In regards to whether the Exorcist franchise buy actually worked, that will be determined down the road after another 2 films are accounted for by Universal. Yeah, but where do you go from here? Correct. The next Exorcist will need to be rebooted greatly after David Gordon Green's vision here did not resonate in a Halloween type of way. That first 2018 movie opened to a franchise best of $76.2 million domestic, and the filmmaker's 3 Michael Myers movies grossing nearly $500 million worldwide. The last 2 installments, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, saw their ticket sales siphoned due to a theatrical day and date on Universal streaming service Peacock. However, for Universal, Halloween was a big subscription driver, and it's why they're going theatrical day and date on Blumhouse's feature take on the popular video game Five Nights at Freddy's on October 27th. The $30 million spent on this Exorcist doesn't include back ends. Seeing horror was a big driver to Peacock, Universal, in the heat of a passion sale, took Exorcist off the table in July of 2021 when studios were still disillusioned about theatrical day and date in the throes of the pandemic, much in the same way Netflix or Amazon would take movies off the table. Netflix shelling out $465 million for 2 Knives Out sequels. It's for these reasons why Universal and Peacock bit at CAA's auction for the IP. At the time that Universal, Peacock, and Blumhouse made the deal with Morgan Creek, it was before they pivoted Halloween Kills, the second Green-directed movie, to a theatrical day and date on Peacock. For the record, that movie saw a bigger opening than Exorcist Believer here, with $49.4 million. As we previously mentioned, the $400 million purchase by Universal for Exorcist wasn't a scenario where 3 movies would be produced at $133 million apiece. Some rival studio executives are under the impression that that's what the deal called for. The Exorcist deal was a broader franchise driver for Universal, which included production budgets, a buyout of talent and right back ends, producer fees, rights to leverage the IP across a portfolio, which means theme parks and Halloween Horror Nights, experiences and branding, and also to drive viewership on Peacock. Exorcist Believer has a 45-day theatrical window before landing on Peacock. It's possible, though there are no definite plans on the next 2 Exorcist movies, that they could go theatrical day and date on Peacock. Now, a lot has obviously changed in the marketplace since this Exorcist deal was made, and the economics around these types of buyouts are significantly more strained in 2023 than they were in 2021, which is interesting. Sorry, it's jumping around.
Yeah.
where I'm getting back to it. In the heat of the deal, what execs at Universal, it keeps jumping. I apologize. In the heat of the deal, what execs at Universal didn't realize was that Exorcist isn't Halloween. Sequels to the late 1973 William Friedkin directed scariest movie. First of all, how did they not realize that The Exorcist isn't Halloween? Sequels to the late 1973 William Friedkin directed scariest movie ever in cinema never lived up to the original, critically or commercially. This one at 23% with reviewers on Rotten Tomatoes. The Exorcist IP has been ripped off and copied so much that the brand is rather diluted, i.e. Screen Gems, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and Lionsgate's The Last Exorcism. The elements of Exorcist do not have a storied legacy as, say, Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. What's obvious is that unlike Green's Halloween, this Exorcist really isn't a spiritual sequel or reboot in the sense of that movie, which of course fans could easily smell this weekend, giving Believer a C cinema score. The same as 1990's Exorcist 3 and 2004's Exorcist The Beginning. Yeah, but Exorcist 3 is better. Furthermore, Ellen Burstyn's Chris McNeil isn't exactly Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode in regards to being the last girl standing. There was a lot of back and forth in development in regards to what this Exorcist should be before settling on a plot of a single father, Oscar nominee Leslie Odom Jr., whose only daughter gets possessed after a disappearance in the woods. By the way, dumbest shit ever. They actually offered a potential reason for the possession. Dumb, total misunderstanding of the text. Reportedly, Odom Jr. walked off the set of Exorcist Believer and production stopped. Yeah, he probably finally read the script and realized, even with this amount of money they're paying me, I can't do this. However, that's less than this movie's problem than its subpar setup. Universal originally had the horror theatrical release date of Friday the 13th this month before AMC's Taylor Swift The Eras Tour landed on that date. However, going earlier really wasn't the problem here for Exorcist Believer. It was always in the execution. Social media analytics firm Relish Mix noted online chatter that had many piling on the rhetorical issue of remakes as they questioned, why repaint the Mona Lisa of horror? That's right, why? Here's the thing. Do you think you could do better than William Peter Blatty, a Jesuit who was educated at Georgetown, who wrote this phenomenal book, The Exorcist, that was nominated for Best Picture and directed by the man who won a Best Picture for directing The French Connection just a couple years before? Is that what you can do? No. Anyway, this is a long article. I won't read all the rest. But anyway, here's what it is number one with 27.2 million. Paw Patrol grossed 11.75 million, and now it's up to 38.8 million. Saw X, nice. Which people keep telling me is great. Yeah. 32.5 million. The Creator has only made 24.9 million. It made 6 million, but I think maybe foreign, because it only had an 80 million budget. I don't know where it's at. Foreign could be better. It might do better. Blind is up to 10.48 million. A Haunting in Venice at number 6 is 35.6 million. The Nun 2, again, 81.6 million. When The Nun 2 is smoking Exorcist, you know you've done Dumb Money has made 10.6 million. The Equalizer 3, 88.8 million. And the Hocus Pocus 30th anniversary release, number 10 at 46.4 million. There you go. I love that the 30th anniversary of Hocus Pocus will probably outgross Exorcist Believer in theaters. So you go, Hocus Pocus.
Unbelievable. Just a quick thought, help me out. Considering the Taylor Swift Eras Tour, she didn't go through the studio system. She did go directly to AMC.
She did.
I understand.
In a genius move, Taylor Swift went directly to AMC that had theaters, because the studios would have taken a huge chunk. A huge chunk. I mean, this is why I'm actually, I can tell you this. I'm writing an article for Taylor Swift that should be published this week for Newsweek. It's so random and weird. But I was asked to write an article about Taylor Swift for Newsweek, which I have done. And I wish it was in their print mag, because I read it every week. But hey, I know it's a shadow of its former self. But still, when you get asked to write an article about Taylor Swift, it's like being asked like you're a god in Ghostbusters. You say yes. So anyway, so Taylor Swift went directly to AMC in a genius move, because what Taylor Swift does is they directly get whatever the revenue split is, with the theaters, call it 50-50. I bet Taylor Swift said, hey, we want you to distribute the movie, but we want a 75 to, I don't know what the split is. Maybe it's more than this, but Taylor Swift could be like, I want to get a 75-25 split with you guys. 75 for us, 25 to you. But there's no middleman. There's no studio accounting I have to deal with. They're not gonna nickel and dime me on distribution costs. I'm gonna go right to you. As a matter of fact, they probably took care of all the printing, and they'll sell merch. I wouldn't be surprised if they're selling merch and they get a cut. The theaters get a cut of it. I don't know how they did it, but it was a genius move. And Taylor Swift is she's the voice of a generation and has been for the last decade and a half. And they're making huge amounts of money. It's going to be the top-grossing concert film of all time by a wide margin. And, they filmed this at the end of her Eras tour, and they filmed it in SoFi Stadium, which is a brand-new, very technologically advanced stadium. So it was probably built, because of the NFL. The place is probably tricked out to make filming in there as easy as possible from 100 different angles. So they probably had a whole control room. And I don't know if I'd love to know, just from a filmmaking point of view, if they'd always planned this, or halfway through the Eras tour they realized we should shoot this concert film and we should do it at SoFi Stadium because it's the most technologically advanced stadium to shoot in. It was literally built from the ground up to be able to be the most shootable venue in concert history, other than maybe the Sphere. But and it was a genius move because if they cut it on the fly, you bring in a great live cutter, a live TV cutter, you could run the concert if you wanted to. You go in there, you record, I think it was 5 nights. You record all 5 nights, and then you have it all, if it's cut live, if you have a great live editor, cutting it and recording it, the film's, you're done. You're off the soundboard, you record. So you could you make this concert movie in 5 fucking days, and the costs of making this are already, the production's already taken care of because you're putting the show on anyway. So it's really just the cameras, which probably were on anyway because they're showing it. So this might be, I would love to know what the breakdown of the actual, if this film itself, so it has a budget, because I would imagine, unless they roll in the costs to the entire performance anyway, but those are all paid for by the ticket prices or whatever. This might be, I would imagine, depending on how it shakes out and how they want to count what money goes where, this might be the most successful independent movie ever made. Maybe. I don't know if anyone's going to look at it that way, because people are like, it was already, the concert was already paid for or whatever. Yeah, but it wasn't, they didn't turn it into a movie. And how much extra did they have to pay after everything they already had there? They might have to have more cameras, but you're still got one guy probably editing it, or maybe there's multiple people cutting it, and each person took a different song. And then if they record all 5 nights, they pick the best performances. Taylor can look at them and go, I want this performance from this night and this performance from this night. Drop it all in. You got a single movie, and bang, good night, Irene. Bob's your uncle. I God bless Taylor Swift.
Great move. Rob, I would say we show some physical media. No.
Really? You think?
Yeah, I think. We were a little bit late, and okay, who starts, Rob?
I cede the floor to the German.
Okay, let's start with some music. Finally, it was about goddamn time. The Red Rocker, Rob, finally got his due, and the Van Halen albums with Sammy as a singer were finally released again as a remastered version. I waited an eternity for this, Rob. And the great thing is, they put the albums in it like they were, just like the LPs in it. Really nice. So they all look like the LP covers. And even the inside is made like the LP. Of course, it's a little bit small to read the lyrics, but nevertheless, a great idea and a a 5th disc with some B-side singles, some rarities. So
Nice, bro.
Finally, the Red Rugger got his doo-wop, and his Van Halen stuff got a little bit of a remaster, and they all fit nicely in that tiny little box. So Van Halen Collection 2, I think, is the name for it. The next one up, Video Nasty from 88 films. Zombie Holocaust in 4K.
Oh, dude, I got to get that. That's Dr. Butcher MD.
That we get such titles, Rob, in 4K.
Dude, it's beautiful. I got to get that.
I only know, I believe I know it only from that title, or I don't even know what probably would have been the German title. So we've got reversible cover artwork. I already changed it. And of course we get 4K and the Blu-ray. And in it we get the new poster artwork. Or I don't know if this was the actually poster for it. And the booklet for it. So Video Nasty, Rob, that as far as I know is probably one of those forbidden movies as it was here in Germany. I would think so. I would need to do some research about it. So Zombie Holocaust. Then, as Rob would say, familiarity that doesn't suck. Even if it's probably, if I had to do ranking, it would probably be on the bottom, but I like them all. I got the Scream 3 Steelbook in 4K. So the first 3 are now out on 4K.
Nice.
I don't think, you could help me out, Rob, the fourth is not out in 4K, and I would think that the fourth one is shot digitally just as a 2K. Just assuming. So, number 3. The next one, I don't know if Rob got it too. I got the Doom Generation. And it comes with reversible cover artwork, so you could
man. Okay, now I should say, I didn't pick this up yet. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
Yeah, no problem. So I interrupt you always.
so this film is the second film in Greg Araki's teen apocalypse trilogy. Yeah. And they restored them. So the first film is Totally Fucked Up. I mean, it's called Totally Fucked Up. The second film is The Doom Generation, and the third film is Nowhere, which is also, they've been remastered in 4K and restored. By the way, did you watch this yet? Have you watched this movie?
No, unfortunately, not gotten around to it, Rob.
Dude, this movie's hardcore. This movie is fucked up.
Good to know.
But I just wish it was in 4K. It's been playing festivals, and but I'm a huge fan of the Teen Apocalypse.
Isn't it said? Doesn't it say back that this is a 4K remaster?
Yes,
new 4K restoration.
Yes, and they did not put it out in 4K.
Yeah, so perhaps probably wait a little. We all know double dipping is always around the corner. Rob, I watched Return to Seoul, really nice movie, and this one is probably in the same alley. I got Past Lives, but I haven't watched it yet.
I got that last week.
This one got great buzz too, considering the movie itself, but I haven't seen it. Have you, Rob, Past Lives?
I got it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Haven't watched it. Okay. Past Lives?
Not the disc, but I've seen the movie.
Oh, okay. Your quick take, Rob?
You know what? It really is one of the best movies of last year. And it was different than I thought it was going to be, to be honest.
Okay.
It's really moving and it's really touching. I identified with it for a number of reasons, but I really liked it. And it's funny because I think Past Lives and Decision to Leave, which is coming out finally in 4K, another one of these double dips, which I'm going to talk about. The Korean cinema, man, is now some of the best in the world. Whether they're giving us genre titles, horror titles, or romantic, wistful, romantic musings about roads less traveled. Fantastic. And by the way, it's a beautiful. That movie's beautiful too.
Nice. Just intersecting, Rob. When we are talking about Korean stuff, before the show, I watched on Netflix, Rob, Ballerina. Really, really nice time.
The trailer kicked ass.
Yeah, it's totally great, Rob. Had a good time with it, and a blast. It is not the spin-off from John Wick. It's a different one, but it's, I would say, almost in the same ballpark as probably Ballerina will be next year. So I had a good time with Ballerina on Netflix, and especially considering streaming movies, not only Ballerina. The other one that I saw on Friday, Rob, because the Stoyle, or man from Ireland, told me about it. He did see it on a festival circuit, so I was thinking, oh, this will probably getting released far down the line, and then I stumbled across, hey, this is already out on Amazon Prime Video. I watched Totally Killer, Rob, and I had a blast too.
That's the comedy, right?
Yeah, comedy, great with time travel. I didn't know anything about it. Really had a blast. It says from probably the producers who did Happy Death Day too. So it is totally in the same vibe. If you love Happy Death Day, I'm pretty sure you will dig this one too. And it is on Amazon Prime Video. And it was strange, Rob, when in the beginning you see the line from MGM and then underneath an Amazon company. It was strange to read.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, bizarre. Back to physical media, Rob. I was happy to watch this documentary on YouTube. Somebody put it up there. How the riot situation was, I have no idea. But I'm happy that it came out on 4K. And you brought it up. When I wasn't there on the show, I got, of course, the Dio 4K Blu-ray.
Nice. Did you watch it?
Never die. Yeah, but not this version on YouTube, where some musical stuff were, silent. So I will watch now the full version. But it comes with the Blu-ray and the 4K. And we will get to this one a little bit later again. And Rob, I totally have to say it was worth your hype. I had a great time because I bought it too. The recommendation from our friend Stoyle, Lola, totally great independent movie. It shows what you can do with creativity. Had a great time with it. Totally recommendation. So this is a little bit of my first haul. Lola, totally recommend the movie. A little bit of my first haul.
Well, okay. As people know, hang on. There we go. As people know, one of the unofficial sponsors of this channel is Kino Lorber. So I just was playing around and in the car when I was driving back from this recording session I was doing on Friday, I was making up a Kino Lorber song. I don't know what this says about me. I was making up a Kino Lorber song, and it had lyrics about John Frankenheimer. Well, you'll see why, but John Frankenheimer. So when I came home, I went on to ChatGPT. And I said, I said, write me. I punched in some information. I said, write me a song about Kino Lorber, and do it to the tune of Barry Manilow's Copacabana. So I'm not gonna sing this. I'm just gonna read what it came up with. So their name was Kino Lorber. A video delight. They brought the classics back in the dead of night. In 4K Dolby Vision, Atmos in the air. They'd take you on a journey to a world so rare. With silent films in black and white, John Frankenheimer's thrill and fright, and ninjas lurking in the dark, Kino Lorber left a mark. Kino Lorber home video, oh what a treat. They brought the past back to life, made it all complete in a world of movies. They're cream of the crop. With every film they touch, you know it's gonna pop. From the roaring 20s to the film noir scenes, they've got the silver screen, oh, in your wildest dreams. With Buster Keaton stunts and Chaplin's grace, Kino Lorber's collection, it's a timeless embrace. Sorry, I can't sing this in tune because it doesn't really work. With silent films in black... Wait, it's not done. With silent films in black and white, John Frankenheimer's thrill and fright, ninjas lurking in the dark, Kino Lorber left a mark. Kino Lorber, home video, what a treat. They brought the past back to life and made it all complete in a world of movies. Cream of the crop. With every film they touch, you know it's gonna pop. So if you're craving classics from days gone by, Kino Lorber's the place where dreams can fly. In 4K Dolby Vision, Atmos all around, they'll take you on a journey to cinematic ground. And then it would be like, she lost her love. And then it would be like, her name was Lola. She was a showgirl. And then it's like, from the Manchurian Candidate, 2 seconds in the mix. They don't have seconds yet. Frankenheimer's a genius. In black and white it sticks. And when the ninjas strike, in the shadows they dance. Kino Lorber's got the moves. They'll give you a chance. With silent films in black and white, John Frankenheimer's thrill and fright. I mean, I don't know why I told him to fixate on John Frankenheimer. Anyway, the outro is, there's more lyrics, but so raise a toast.
Music copyright strike.
So raise a toast to Kino with films so divine. In 4K and Atmos, they'll make your day shine. From silent film magic to ninjas in the night, Kino Lorber Home Video, you're our guiding light. So that said, look what they sent me. Emmanuel's Revenge.
Emmanuel's Revenge?
Dude, I didn't even know this existed. But all I know is with my two, I've got the Black Emmanuel box set from Severin. I've got the Great Emmanuel 4K box set that you sent me from Germany. Now Kino Lorber sent me. And by the way, I have to say, this is in DVD, but this is on their Cinephobia releasing label. They also released Blackwood, a really great movie which you should see, a low-budget film about a couple jogging in the woods. That's all you should know about it.
Yeah, I think you told
I told you about it. So they sent me Emmanuel's Revenge, which, that's cool. It's on DVD. I'll watch it because why not? But that's not all they sent me. You might be asking yourself, why did I have such an emphasis on John Frankenheimer and ninjas? Because you know what they said?
You already got them, Rob. You already got them.
Dun, dun.
Don't they come out in at the end of October?
Yes, they do.
God damn it, bro.
Look at this. Enter the Ninja. Franco, Nero, and Sho Kazuki in Canon Films. Enter the Ninja. Come on, man. And then also, lest we not forget, John Frankenheimer's The Challenge. Dude, with Scott Glenn and Toshiro Mifune. Do you know that another?
We get reversible cover artwork, Rob?
You know what? I didn't even look. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Just check.
No. Enter the Ninja. No reversible. By the way, can I just point out, why would you need a reversible cover? Look at that artwork.
Yeah,
that's
bro. Great.
I would imagine the challenge again, painted artwork. This is a little cheesy, but I love it.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like the cover for Prayer of the Roller Boys, but it's not. There
you go, Rob.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Woo, reversible cover. Yeah. Okay, let me square this off here. Bruh. This is a badass cover. Look at this. Look at that reversible cover.
Yeah, awesome.
I gotta add, so here's the original cover.
Yeah.
Here's the reversible cover.
Nice.
Go Kino. Again, they must be like a total drug cartel cocaine laundering operation, but God bless them. Because Kino Lorber, God bless them. And that's not all. Do you know what they sent me this weekend? In case you wanted a sexy time with the devil, Lorna the Exorcist. Jess Franco's Lorna the Exorcist. Now, this is part of their new Kino Cult line. Kino Cult.
Speaking of Jess Franco, Rob, I don't know if you got it too. I got the girl from Rio.
You know what? I did, and I need to get the girl from Rio. I need to get
Yeah.
it. I need to get it.
But considering the movie, Rob, I would say objectively, this is trash. But there's fun to be had for sure. Unfortunately, no reversible cover artwork. It
Well,
comes
there's
with
boobs in that,
Blu-ray.
isn't there?
Yeah, Blu-ray and the 4K, the girl from Rio, from Chess Franco 2. Back to you.
Yes. So, okay. So, what I love sometimes, one of the frustrations of my professional life is a lot of the material that I created special features wise sometimes just disappears because we did it in standard def in the early 2000s, right? But then sometimes it's brought back. And I worked on when I did the 20th anniversary of Tron, and then I did Usual Suspects. MGM asked me, because they really liked what we did for Usual Suspects, Kino Lorber, again, released the Usual Suspects and put all of our special features that we made for Usual Suspects on their Blu-ray. So you go, Kino Lorber. Shout Select also released Valley Girl. And Dave Parker, Greg Carson at MGM, and myself produced those special features for Valley Girl, and they were only in print for a little while. Then they went out of print. Couldn't get them anymore until Shout Factory released them. But look at this, bruh. So in the UK, Eureka released this beautiful box set. Now this is, let me go full frame on this one. This is brand new painted.
Almost like a Vinegar Syndrome type.
Yeah, brand new painted artwork. It totally is. Big box set. You've got, again, reversible cover. This is the original one sheet for Valley Girl.
Yeah.
And they added a beautiful, really nice booklet on this. And, oops, not only is our special features on there, but there's new special features and essays. This is I mean, obviously, this is only in Blu-ray. It's not in 4K. I don't know if this will ever be in 4K, but this is a fantastic release. And I get to put this on my shelf proudly. I mean, even though I did this work 20 years ago, it lives on in this great release from Eureka. And again, those were, so thank you, Eureka. So those were my DVD and Blu-ray acquisitions for this week. There's a lot more to come.
Nice. I would say
thank you, Kino Lorber. Yeah. Shall we once again end with, so raise a toast to Kino with films so divine. In 4K and Atmos, they'll make your days shine. From silent film magic to ninjas in the night. Kino Lorber Home Video, you're our guiding light. There you go. You can take that and make a commercial out of it, and I'm happy. So, Matt, thank you at Kino. You're the man. By the way, did I mention ninjas? You know, the Burnett axiom is that there is nothing in the world that cannot be made better there's nothing in the world that cannot be made better with the proper application of ninjas.
Exactly. I would say, Rob, we working our way through the super chats that came in until now.
Yes, shall we? Let's see, super chats. Here we go. Brian Doyle says, actually, let me go back. Let me go back to the proper way the proper super chats lie. Let's go back there, shall we? Brian Doyle says, the Eagle has landed documentary live stream, just announced they're canceling the Kickstarter tomorrow and moving ahead with private investment. Oh, so here's what's really interesting. So, you know, I've been pimping out my friend Jeffrey Morris's The Eagle has landed documentary. They were asking for $500,000 for the documentary, but because they had earned over $100,000, there were investors that came in and said, you're not going to make your Kickstarter goal, but we have been shown that there's enough interest in your documentary that we're just going to finance the whole thing.
Ooh.
So they're canceling the Kickstarter, and they achieved. So I want to congratulate Jeffrey and anybody, all you imagination connoisseurs out there who might have supported the documentary. I think it's going to be a great documentary. Jeffrey's an incredibly talented filmmaker. It's going to be A-list all the way. And the fact that sometimes Kickstarters, even if they don't make it, they prove that there's enough. I mean, it's pretty to make a documentary about a fictional spaceship from a TV show that only lasted 2 seasons back in the mid-'70s. That's pretty specific. So congratulations to Jeffrey, and that private investment came in. So that is amazing.
Good to know.
Yeah. So, yeah, good stuff. And by the way, I don't know. Irene Jobson sent in a super chat that I don't think I read in the member call yesterday. She said,
"Okay."
She sent in a super chat. And she said, "This is for the war, hopefully the nice side of the war." And then Jer Manninen, our friend from Finland, said, "Thank you for doing the anime news shows. I've loved anime for over 20 years, and your weekly shows are one of my favorite watches during the week." Well, Jer, I will pass that along to Israel. I am a real fan of what Israel King Tannic does every week with the Otaku Experience. And he does a phenomenal job. And I wish more people watch, but I know that our audience is not the biggest anime audience, but still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Brian Doyle says, a super chat from Brian Doyle says, "Hi, Rob. I'm Des, showrunner, Des Doyle's brother, and he just wanted me to say that he is in L.A. at the moment and had emailed you about the possibility of meeting up over the next week." Yes, he did. I haven't got back to him. I was just so insane I went to Portland for a crisis medicine shoot, and we recorded. I've been talking about our audio drama that we're the audio drama that
we recorded on Friday.
We recorded on Friday, and I'm having Max Allen Collins will be on Robservations on Tuesday. That is the release date of the 18th Nathan Heller novel, Too Many Bullets, and we're going to show shots from the recording session, and maybe even play a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And you can hear some of the music from it, and it's I am over the moon with what we did.
What?
So what we're going to do is, we're going to run a crowdfunding campaign for this, but Max Allen Collins is writing. We are adapting his Nathan Heller detective novels into the kind of audio dramas that were like The Sandman on Audible, Spotify, that were like 13 hours long. These aren't going to be 13 hours long, but they're going to be hours long. And we're going to have a physical media component to them. So we are going to have Blu-rays, so you're going to be able to get multiple mixes, 5.1 and Dolby Atmos mixes of these audio dramas. So all that's coming. But I'll get in touch with I'll get in touch with Des. Brian, thanks for telling us that. I'd love to meet up with Des. This week is not necessarily a bad week. So, and then that's exciting. Irene Jobson says, "Hi, Dieter. Hi, Rob. Please say hi to Elizabeth for me." I will. Let's see what else we got here. Anonymous said, "Could you read your article on Taylor Swift on a Taylor Swift themed Robservations, or have a Swift Robservation and do everything but read your article? That would be fun either way." That's not a bad idea. As a matter of fact, I could get two of the now girls in their early 20s who inspired this article and get them here. That's not a bad idea. Our friend Thomas Logan says, "VHS 85 was the horror winner this weekend. David Bruckner from Hulu's Hellraiser has the best segment. Only Apple has this movie in good resolution." I didn't know. Is VHS 85 on Apple? Okay, I have to look at that.
On Shudder normally, but it could be on Apple if you bought it. As far as I know, it's available on Shudder.
Oh, I think in good resolution. Well, wouldn't you want to watch VHS 85 in VHS resolution? Wouldn't that be the point?
Should be. Yeah.
So that's cool. John Miller sends in a super chat and says, "Can you give Tom Conkle's Island in the Stars campaign a shout out? it's in its last week. Well, of course, I have no problem doing that. I'm a huge fan of Tom Conkle, and so I had Tom Conkle on this show along with some actors, including Vernon Wells, who played the Mohawked Wes in The Road Warrior. He was on this channel, and we did a shout out to that. We did a whole show on Tom Conkle's Island in the Stars campaign. So go to Kickstarter if you want to. Go to Kickstarter, support Tom's. Even if you don't, do it for us here on Let's Get Physical Media because we want to buy it on 4K. So go to Tom Conkle's Island in the Stars Kickstarter campaign and support if you can, which is very, very cool. Hitchhiker42 says, hi, a pricey event was held for the restoration of James Cameron's The Abyss and no release date given. Abysmal and possible issues with DNR use might turn me off a pre-order. Now, Hitchhiker42, I have a friend that worked on The Abyss that went to this event, and by the way, it was not overpriced. It was part of Beyond Fest. It was at the Village Theater, one of the best theaters in LA. And I'll tell you something. I don't believe anyone anymore when they talk about the kind of image that they're looking at, because nobody knows what they're talking about. And unless you talk or read reviews from a reputable site and go to some place like DVD Beaver. DVD Beaver is a great site. People don't even know what DNR is. They don't know how it's used. They don't know what it's supposed to look like. I mean, if it's egregious like what happened to the first Predator release, you can tell. But there's a number of things that are going on. I had a friend that worked on The Abyss that was at that screening that said it looked amazing. Now, take it all with a grain of salt until you've actually seen the release. But I heard it was great, so I don't know if there are DNR issues or not. But, and you're saying abysmal and possible issues with DNR use. That was not what I heard from people who were at the screening. So, again, I don't believe it until I see it myself, or you hear it from a reputable source. So, I would hold off until then. So, there you go. Okay. So we're all caught up then, and super chats and tips are open. You can fire them off if you want to yell at me or talk to Dieter.
So I would say, Rob, we get to the letter section that you sent me ahead of time before the show started.
Let's do that.
And of course, 4 of the 5 are from Brian Knight. So we start with Brian Knight, and he says, Sergeant Riker unique commentary. Robert, recently bought a Cat in the Bag DVD, Sergeant Riker, starring Lee Marvin. Thought this was a war movie set in Korea. Turns out to be a court martial charging Marvin for treason, working with the North Korean general. Listen to the audio commentary. Instead of discussing the movie, the commentator talked about how this movie was originally a 1964 2-part made-for-TV series. Was re-edited and released in theaters in 1968. This wasn't the only network movie released in theaters. The commentator doesn't say it, but he implies the stars didn't get paid for the theater release. In 1972, SAG stopped networks from pulling this stunt in the future. As for the movie, not a bad courtroom drama with a nice twist. Also stars Peter Graves as the prosecuting attorney. Rob, do you know the movie Sergeant Riker?
I don't.
Marvin? Okay.
No.
Okay. Was planned as a TV movie. Okay. Nice too. No. The next one. Just a short one from Brian Knight. Puppet Master versus Child's Play and Chucky. Robert and Dieter, which is your favorite puppet series? Full Moon's Puppet Master or Child's Play with Chucky? And of course, I would think we have both sides covered because Rob worked at Full Moon. So I will go with the Chucky franchise, and I hope Rob will go with the Puppet Master franchise. But I don't know.
I mean, look, to be honest, you're talking about franchise.
Very different.
Very different.
Puppets.
Yeah, you're talking about very different kinds of movies, and the budget's very, very, very different. Very different.
Yeah. So this is a tough comparison, even if it's about puppetry, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you really want me to tell you what my favorite puppet movie would be, it would be one segment in the. It would be a segment in the old 1940s movie Dead of Night, and there's a ventriloquist and a dummy in that movie named Hugo, and I saw that when I was a little kid, and it left a mark on me. But if you're talking about puppets, that was. But since the question was about the thing is, I think that the Puppet Master movies, and I would be remiss if I did not mention that Dave Parker, who directed The Hills Run Red, directed the most recent one under very difficult circumstances, and like in a week he directed the whole movie Dr. Death, and like with Hills Run Red, he had a lot of input into the look and everything, and those movies are made for like $1 million. Yeah. Chucky, you're talking the first, they were expensive movies. They were made with a lot more money. So, but I would go with the Puppet Master franchise only because of the wit and the verve that it took to make those movies despite their low budget. But the Chucky movies are fun. Jennifer Tilly is the bride of Chucky.
Yeah.
Swing.
So, Brian, we have, like I said, a balance here. The next one comes from David. Oppo Repair. Possibly good news, but don't wait. See in close details why. Rob, I heard your woes about your Oppo, and I wanted to let you know that Oppo may still be able to service your unit for $100 to $200. I know as of even a few weeks ago they were doing so. And he sent us an email, oppodigital.com. That said, to confirm this information, I went onto AVS forum. There's a chance that they may have stopped servicing them as of the last few weeks, but it's uncertain. The sooner you reach out, the better your chances. As an owner of 93 and 203 Oppo, I really hope they haven't stopped servicing them. Mine both work fine, but I've slept better at night knowing that I still had the safety net of their service. Good luck from David. No surname. So perhaps there is still service for your...
I sacrificed mine to the gods of dead players. I don't have it anymore.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
I don't know what that means, but it doesn't exist anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. The next one from Brian Knight. Morricone, not Williams, is the GOAT. Robert, next time John Cambia goes off and declares John Williams is the GOAT of composers, simply have him watch the Danish National Symphony Orchestra rendition of Ennio Morricone's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, followed by The Ecstasy of Gold. This did send you a YouTube link for that. If he thinks watching John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl is the best, then show him Metallica at the Roman Colosseum in Nimes, which he did send a YouTube link to. Well, Brian, for me, John Williams actually is the GOAT, considering how many themes he produced over the years, recognizable themes. Yes, The Ecstasy of Gold is great. That is always the intro from Metallica. But for me, I go with the bad Canadian kid. John Williams is the GOAT. Rob?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I don't think that there's any doubt that for worldwide audiences, John Williams has left more of an impression. I mean, if you think about the themes from Harry Potter all the way back to the second season of Lost in Space, where he was credited as Johnny Williams on TV back in the 60s. I mean, John Williams has written so many great themes. Now, I once was at a concert with some friends of ours, and they have friends, and there was a guy just going, was talking about how derivative John Williams is. Now, like if you go back and listen to a score for a movie by Eric Korngold called King's Row, there's a lot of Star Wars in that soundtrack. And you could say that John Williams, his music is derivative of other things, but I think that's true of a lot of composers.
Yeah, totally.
And he's not as derivative of himself as, say, James Horner was, who kept kind of repeating the same themes over and over again in his work. And so I would say I agree. I think in terms of, I mean, you go back every decade there was a theme that John Williams created, and it was themes for big movies like Jaws or Star Wars or Raiders in the 80s, Jurassic Park in the 90s, Harry Potter in the thousands. I mean, if you go back and you listen to his lesser scores that people don't know as well, like his March, his 1941 March is fantastic. His score for Empire of the Sun is fantastic. 2 horror scores he did in the 70s for Brian De Palma's The Fury and John Badham's Dracula are great. The Fury score's amazing, and people, like, the guy never phoned it in. He did other things like Oliver Stone's JFK. Amazing stuff. So John Williams is an incredible composer. That said, Ennio Morricone will never, there is not any audience member here in the United States that's going to know a lot of Morricone's music the way you know John Williams' music, because a lot of the great music that he wrote, like I got really into Ennio Morricone in the mid 80s when they started releasing compilations of his work from Italian movies that I'd never heard of, and I started to love. You know, a lot of people, I remember when it came out on CD, I was working at Silver Platters, the Mission soundtrack. The soundtrack, everyone bought that fucking soundtrack. Everybody. And that score was, people love that score. They still love that score today. Morricone is an incredible composer. I mean, he's clearly, but he's just different than John Williams. Ennio Morricone was never working on giant blockbuster studio movies made in America. I mean, yeah, he scored like John Carpenter's The Thing, not all of it, but his music. But he never had the kind of exposure. But I mean, I would dare say, and I can't. John Williams has written a lot of scores, but I'll bet you Ennio Morricone wrote more. But he would write scores for like Italian romance films that no one's ever seen or heard of here. So I would say that while John Williams is the GOAT, Ennio Morricone is definitely in the conversation of greatest film composer of all time. And if he's not the GOAT, he's in the top 5. Maybe he's number 2. So, you know, he's no slouch.
There you go. Right. Definitely not. There you go. Right. And the last one from Brian Knight. Perry Nemiroff makes it to the big show. Robert, read an article in the Daily Mail on Saturday about a writer for the new Bambi movie. She wants to remove the scene where Bambi's mother dies. As I scroll down the article, there is the writer, and sitting next to her is Perry. Boy, I do miss the good old days of Collider, and he sent a link again. Well, Brian, I don't know anything about changing the Bambi movie, and I don't care that much about any Disney.
Well, you know, they're going to do a live. They're talking about doing a live action Bambi movie the way they did Lion King.
Oh, okay.
And there has been a lot of talk how obviously in the movie Bambi's mother dies, which is kind of one of the whole points of the entire film, and they're saying that, oh, you know, in this day and age, parents are too sensitive, and to kill Bambi's mother might be too much for kids today. Yeah, okay, but you know, yesterday, young people that were at a concert in Israel had to deal with terrorists coming over in paramotors and killing them, and dragging them off, killing them in their cars. So I think kids need to harden up because the world's going to get to be a real tough place real soon. So if you can't deal with the fucking deer dying, fuck you, Disney. Come on. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. The whole point, that's like you're going to remake Old Yeller and the dog's going to live. I mean, the whole point of Disney is to understand and how to live with grief because it's part of the world. And you know, we've been infantilizing kids in this country. The children in the United States right now have been done such a disservice by parents, by our educational system, by so many, because of things like this. Oh, we have to make it easier for them. Yeah, and you've created an entire generation of entitled assholes that don't know any hardship and don't know how to think for themselves. Give them some grief. Give them some grief because when they are 18 years old now, they're all going into the Army. quite soon. So the tougher you can make them. Let's put them all in. Let's shock them to their very core by killing Bambi's mother the way it's supposed to be. So if you don't kill Bambi's mother, you're a fraudulent creator. That's
there you
right.
go, Brian. There you go. This was the letter section.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So
where do we go? News?
Where do we go from here? Do you want news?
Yeah.
Do we want news?
Have you picked out for us?
Well, I've picked out a lot. There's a lot of really interesting stuff happening in the world of physical media that dropped this week, and I think, what should I start with first? For me, one of the things that's really exciting is let's talk about The Abyss. We now know that James Cameron, because of Beyond Fest, they did screen The Abyss, and they played it at one of my favorite theaters in Los Angeles, The Village. So there is, and James Cameron flat out said that it will be coming to 4K this year. Yeah. Now I have heard through the grapevine from reputable sources that, the other Lightstorm films, you've got things that they might be working on. You've got Titanic that's coming out, so that's first up. And the what I've heard is that there's just not enough people. They're overwhelmed by these titles and getting all the assets together because there's a lot of them. And I would imagine the reason being at Disney, they're kind of ramping back up their physical media department. But they don't have the personnel that they used to have when I worked there 20 years ago, or I worked at a company that worked for them, which was fantastic. So, if you think about the Lightstorm releases that are missing, we have 3 Cameron-directed movies that we don't have on 4K, or on 4K. So we've got The Abyss, we have, or maybe just the Abyss and True Lies. And we have I've heard that they want to go back and obviously remaster Terminator 2. And then the other Lightstorm movies that I don't know, that's just what I've heard. I don't know. I have no confirmation of that, but they want to. And then you've got Aliens that's not on 4K.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then you've got Solaris and Strange Days, which have not been remastered either. And, of course, Soderbergh did Solaris, Catherine Bigelow did Strange Days, and they should both be out in 4K. Strange Days would be a banger on 4K with a Dolby Atmos mix. So I would imagine we know we're getting Titanic. Maybe we'll get The Abyss by the end of the year. Maybe.
Hope so.
But who knows? So, but it's exciting that we know that that's coming out.
Yeah.
Waited
a long time for this.
Yeah, a long time. For me, the most exciting 4K announcement of the week was this. Michael Powell's Peeping Tom. Now, Peeping Tom, some people have called it the British answer to Psycho. This is an incredibly disturbing movie, and it basically ended Michael Powell, who made The Red Shoes and Tales of Hoffman. It basically killed his career. This is a horror movie about a cameraman played by Carl Boehm. A very disturbing movie about a cameraman who's a serial killer who's killing people the moment they die. And it's pretty rough. I know I have a British Blu-ray of this. It's an incredible horror film. And, of course, Studio Canal is putting it out. I hope it's not too teal and orange. But, hey, this is one of my favorite releases of the week. So, good for me. I can't wait to get this on 4K. An important release. Yep. If you're a horror aficionado and you've never seen this, this is right up there with this and Psycho. Make a great double bill. Great double bill. Of course, there's this little movie that got announced for 4K. I've never heard of it. It's called B. Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are in this. I have no idea what this is.
Direct to video, Rob. Direct to video.
Well, it is, but it is part of the Warner Brothers 100th anniversary. It's in 4K. I'm sure it'll look great. But I can't tell you anything more about it other than it's coming. I guess that's cool. A lot of great. December releases. We talked about the deluge of December releases last week. Vinegar Syndrome announcing movies like Mark of the Devil, Blood-Sucking Freaks, and Mother's Day. Oh my God! In 4K.
Rabid Grannies.
Rabid Grannies. I don't know about that, but hey, I don't know if I'll get that, but I'll get the other 3 for sure. Shout Factory, or Shout Select, Scream Factory, Shout Factory, a box set coming on the heels of Natural Born Killers. A beautiful box set for JFK. I have a beautiful box set for the Blu-ray of JFK from Warner's, but apparently both versions of JFK are in here. And what a great box set coming out from Shout. Definitely a must-buy first day for me. I love this movie. You know, whether this movie, how true it is, I don't know. But I really like this film as an American myth. The filmmaking is just beautiful. The performances are beautiful. Government's gonna come down on you, Jimbo, and dance on your head. I love John Candy in this movie. It's great. So this is very exciting. Now I know some people might think this is the news of the week, but 4K Point Break, another Catherine Bigelow movie. Who doesn't want to see Bodie and Johnny Utah face off? I want to see it. This is a must buy. I love this movie. I think it's
Elizabeth,
fantastic.
not so much, but we.
She'd know. 4K to have this. I mean, this is another movie that, you know, I've owned on Laserdisc, I've owned on DVD, I've owned on Blu-ray. I love this movie. Everyone loves this movie, or at least guys love this movie. Elizabeth doesn't, but hey, you know, the dead presidents are surfers. So there you go. I'm in. Can't wait. Another great Shout Select catalog title that I've bought millions of times, and I'll buy it again. End of the road for this one. They also announced The Dead Zone, Scream Factory putting out, which pisses me off because now how many times do I have to buy DVDs that are later announced at these boutique companies or Paramount, and then they get put out in 4K? Just put it out in 4K. I understand the market for Blu-ray is much bigger than 4K, but then put them out at the same time and give people a choice. I get it, making your money, okay, whatever. But still, it's coming out in 4K. Really great Stephen King adaptation, directed, of course, by David Cronenberg. Really excited to get this. So that's exciting. They're also putting out Clue. Clue has never had a great. It's never been treated well on home video. I hope they get out maybe the missing fourth ending that no one's seen. This movie has multiple endings. Hopefully you can watch the movie with all four endings. I don't quite know how they're going to do all of that, but good on them. So that's very cool that they're putting that out. Of course, they're also putting out the Ring collection, although I don't know if this is Shout Factory or not, but maybe it is. So they're putting out Gore Verbinski's The Ring, and then Ring 2, and then Rings in 4K on this. So I love the American remake of The Ring. I'm not saying it's better than the Japanese version, but I do love Gore Verbinski's version, so totally going to buy this, because why not? Kill Room, this new movie with Uma Thurman and Joe Manganiello and Sam Jackson came out. I haven't seen this. It's supposed to be good. Now, I don't know if Shout Factory or Scream produced this or not, but maybe they did, but I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, but it looks good. I saw the trailer. So this is coming out. They're also putting out The Man in the Iron Mask. Young, sweet DiCaprio, Jeremy Irons, John Malkovich, Gerard Depardieu, and Gabriel Byrne. I like this movie, too. I don't know if I'll buy this, but I like this movie. I thought this was a good
I haven't
movie.
seen it in a long time.
Yeah. And then they're putting out the Shaw Brothers Collection Classics Volume 4. I've got the Arrow Shaw box set, Volume 4. So that's coming out, so good on them. The 2016 Blood Feast is, I don't know if you're interested. They're putting it out. I don't know if I'll buy this, but it's coming. I just thought I would be mentioning it. And then we've got from Ronin Films, we've got There's Nothing Out There, and there's from the early 90s. I think this is a comedy, an alien comedy. And then The Lost, which I don't know anything about, but The Lost is coming, which is pretty cool. And then here we go. Okay, now this is, oops, you can't see us. Now, Dieter, this movie, this is interesting. So Cutting Class is an early Brad Pitt movie with Jill Schoelen in it. Early Brad Pitt movie, and it's kind of a slasher movie, but it was directed by Rospo Pallenberg, who wrote Excalibur, believe it or not. So this is coming out in 4K. I'll buy this. Watch the trailer. It looks like a fun. I saw this movie. I remember nothing about it. Fun slasher film. MVD is putting it out, but I'll buy this. I'll get it. Rospo Pallenberg wrote it. Early Brad Pitt movie. When you watch this trailer is available on YouTube, so go watch it. It's crazy. Coming out. While I won't sing the Kino Lorber song, Kino Lorber is putting out Suspect Zero, Aaron Eckhart, Ben Kingsley, and Carrie Ann Moss. I like this movie. They're putting it out in 4K, so good for Kino Lorber. That's coming out. And Radiance, my new favorite boutique label, has a couple of things coming out. Goodbye and Amen. I have no idea what this is about, but I think I'm just gonna start buying everything Radiance puts out. The people who used to work for Arrow are now doing Radiance. I love their releases. I just think I should buy them all. So they got Goodbye and Amen coming out. They have The Sting of Death coming out, a Japanese film. Again, haven't seen it. Award-winning. Would love to see it. I think I'm going to buy it because they've all got obies. We know those little strips are called obies.
Yeah.
I'm just going to buy them because I love their packaging. I think they've got... it's interesting. One of my favorite record labels in the 80s was a record label called 4AD that had like Cocteau Twins on it. Dead Can Dance was on it. Early Modern English and Bauhaus was on that label. I think that Radiance has the best covers in the business. They got the obies on them, but their covers are absolutely, whether it's cool artwork like this, or this title, which I have seen. I the Executioner, again, I think it's from late 60s. They've got this coming out, and this. Now, I don't know. This is an Italian. Death Occurred Last Night.
Yeah.
I think they have the rights to release this here, these Italian Raro video stuff, but I think Kino Lorber puts these out in domestically. I'm not sure. Got to find out. But yeah, so you go Radiance Films, and then another Kino Lorber. I mean, okay, I don't understand. I don't understand why major studios like Paramount. I mean, this is anybody who has a 4K Atmos system, Dolby Vision system. This is a Paramount movie. This should be by Paramount considered a major. I would think it's considered a major release because everybody who has a 4K system will buy this movie. And this director came to America, was kind of shafted by the studios. This movie, maybe my favorite news of the week.
Yeah.
This movie, putting out by Kino Lorber dropping John Woo's Face Off. Come on, my friends. This movie is so much fun. Pollux and Castor Troy, brothers in this movie. I mean, look at this. In 4K, but it's not coming out through the very studio that released it, that distributed it.
Good double bill with Point Break.
Totally, dude. Totally. I mean, this is the most John Woo of his American movies, although we did see the new trailer for Silent Night, which is a John Woo movie where no one talks.
I haven't watched it, Rob. I haven't watched the trailer.
You haven't watched?
Stay away from the trailers.
Okay, okay. Silent Night, just know that there's no dialogue in the movie.
It's a Netflix movie. Am I right? Silent Night.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So, come on, man! I can't wait to get this. Love this movie.
Me neither. Me too, Rob. Me too.
Come on, it's so good. And I'll tell you something. Ellen Mirojnik, the costume designer, I interviewed her. You'll see her interview after the first of the year, but I did interview her at Universal the other day. So very cool. She's very cool. This movie's very cool. I love this movie. And Nicolas Cage has great suits in this movie. So you go, Ellen Mirojnik. Then we have Nowhere. This is Greg Araki's Nowhere, which is the third part of his teen apocalypse trilogy, followed by the movies Totally Fucked Up, The Doom Generation, which I forgot was out. I would have bought it. And this is the third movie, all-star cast. This movie is sort of it's a precursor to things like Euphoria, but weirder. Really like this.
Same label? Then?
I don't know if it's the same label. Maybe. Probably is.
Okay. Strand.
I would imagine this is coming from Strand releasing. I really actually like this cover. But so there you go. Yeah. And there's that. And then we've got, of course, the disc. So these are the things that I picked. There's a lot more stuff coming out. And, of course, I don't go to Diabolic DVD to find out what the foreign releases are. I should probably do that. But you didn't see I did get my Shivers.
I saw that.
Did you say? Okay, so I got my Shivers. And I did watch it. a lot of people complaining about. I think it looks incredible. But if it was, and I don't know if it was shot in 35 or 16, but if it was shot in 16, I thought it looked great. And the colors are what the colors are, and I thought the transfer looks terrific.
Good to know.
But then I haven't A/B'd it with the one that Lionsgate put out. So here we have the top sellers for the week. This is all discs. Elemental, Insidious the Red Door, The Little Mermaid, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Loki, the complete first season, Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. Nice to see that getting some love. Fast X at number 8, John Wick Chapter 4 at number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I don't know what number 10 is because I cut it off. I'm sorry. I apologize. Those are the top sellers for the week. Then we have the top 20 selling Blu-ray discs. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. These are Blu-rays. Loki, the complete first season. Insidious, The Red Door. Little Mermaid. John Wick Chapter 4. Ruby Gillman. Fast X. Halloween H2O 20 years later. And Natural Born Killers, the collector's edition. Re-released by Shout. Maybe I'll show that later. We'll see. But that did come out. Then we have the top 20 selling 4K discs. Loki, number 1, complete first season in that steelbook. Very expensive, by the way. Elemental, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Halloween H2O 20 years later, Natural Born Killers, The Fifth Element, Ghostbusters 1 and 2. The Fifth Element and Ghostbusters 1 and 2 were both re-released as steelbooks. They were reissued by Sony.
Yeah.
I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is new, John Wick Chapter 4, and the original The Exorcist, bringing up the rear at number 10. So, Dietz, that is the news, my friend.
Great to know what's coming down the pipe. I would say, Rob, we show some physical media. Who starts?
Why don't you start?
Okay, you talked about it, Rob. Then I start with it. Of course, Natural Born Killers from Shout Select. Fortunately, no visible cover artwork, but luckily, it is the director's cut on 4K and Blu-ray. And
me too. Although, you know what?
theatrical
I hear it's. I haven't opened it. I hear it's the discs are loose. I hate when that happens.
No, actually.
No, mine are. Mine are loose. I'm going to open.
They're not at the moment, Rob. Perhaps when the disc came.
I mean, it's interesting. I read one of my first experiences with Quentin Tarantino was reading this script.
Okay.
And God, and there's schmutz all over this disc. What the hell? There we go. So yes, and of course he wrote the original script, but I think he only gets story credit, or he's not a fan of this movie. Not a fan of this movie. Anyway, I got
it. Story credit, not the screenplay.
Yeah, but the screen. This first time I read a Quentin Tarantino script, it was Natural Born Killers. Before it was made.
I don't know if this is already out in the States on 4K. This is the Turbine Steelbook for the Black Phone.
Wow.
From
Scott Derrickson, cool steelbook.
In 4K and the normal Blu-ray. And just like the US is now with a Dolby Atmos track, because I believe the Blu-ray release just came with a DTS track, but I could be wrong about it. So the Black Phone came out in Germany as a steelbook or media books from Turbine. Then it came up, Rob, in the top 10 2 minutes ago. Of course, I still know what you did last summer. The cover underneath is a little bit different. Really great transfer for me. Really love. You can't go wrong with the Sony titles. The only drawback is the Blu-ray is not a new transfer. This is exactly the same Blu-ray when the movie was released a few years back. So the 4K is a great upgrade. The Blu-ray is the old one that you already got. Rob did show this title. I believe it was 2 weeks ago. But finally I got mine too, Rob. Very gorgeous. Glass Dragon,
Oh, yeah.
Steelbook. So I got the same for me. And of course, the Let's Get Physical Media show from my end would be a physical media show without at least one media book. And the media book is a cat in the back, Rob. It's a
Uh-oh.
film from the Ukraine, Rob. It's called Maxim Osa, the gold of the werewolf. So Maxim Osa is a media book which comes with a poster, the movie. But this is a DVD and a Blu-ray. This is not 4K. So no idea about it. Let me just see what does the back say. It is some mystic stuff from the Ukraine, and they promised me bloody action in it, Rob. They promised me on the back, Rob. I hope they keep their word, you know. And here is the poster for the movie. So let me just see. Strange poster. Okay, a little bit reminds me a little bit of Rosemary, just a little bit here. The tease from the werewolf. So cat in the back, and I've got my Japanese steelbook for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which comes with the 3D 2. So the standard version that I showed some weeks ago, I gave to a worker colleague of mine, since he's rocking the 3D through a projector. So Guardians of the Galaxy, the steelbook from Japan. Okay, Rob, this was some titles from me. Second haul of the last 2 weeks.
Well, this is a title I was really happy to get, but I'm very conflicted about, to be honest.
Conflicted, Rob.
I'm conflicted because, okay, this was one of my favorite 50s, based on a story by Ray Bradbury.
Yeah.
One of the great monster movies of the 50s. It came from outer space. Now, this came out from Universal. This box has that matte, shiny matte finish, that Vinegar Syndrome finish 88 Films box. I mean, I love my classic sci-fi. I do love it. Now, this is a box set from fucking Universal. But you know what's famous about this movie?
The 3D.
That's right, the 3D. And do you know what's not on this disc?
No.
The 3D.
No 3D.
There's already a 3D version of this that exists that I have.
Okay.
But now, Universal gave this is the world we live in. I mean, I can sit there and mull over it and realize I don't know what the fuck is going on or why people make the decisions they make. But anyway, so beautiful package, comes with swag. First of all, you have this, but guess what? It does have the 3D version on it. Does
Wait,
it really?
what?
It does have the 3D version on it.
But it doesn't say on the cover.
Not really. No.
Okay.
Should have said in 3D.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't do it, but it's on the Blu-ray disc.
Nice.
So it is on 3D. But I don't know why. I mean, I would have thought that they would have made like there was a 3D, like, I love this cover, but it should say in 3D on it. I mean, I guess, I don't know. Yeah. I can't look, but I can't complain because God bless Universal for doing this because it's so rad. So anyway, it has the movie in 4K. And when I saw this, so the 3D's on the Blu-ray, but I don't know because I haven't watched this because I just got it. I don't know if the transfer of the movie on Blu-ray, because when they originally put it out, it was on 2D and 3D. I don't know if they used, so this disc, I don't know if this is the old transfer, the old Blu-ray disc. I can't speak to that. But it is in 4K now, which is great. Yeah. So I'm very
Rob,
happy.
I think you have reversible cover artwork. Check.
Oh, look at you. You know what? Hell yeah. You're right. Look at that. And since it's different, Although it doesn't say 3D on here either. But yeah, you're right. Let's say I wouldn't even know. I hadn't even got to that yet. And this is the original artwork. It came from outer space. That's cool.
Great.
The night. It's got a great booklet. The night Earth will never forget. And again, accentuating this. And this is a really nice. Again, this is the kind of booklet that. And look, what's great is so here. So here's the thing. Here's the original artwork, right? You said reversible cover, but what I always loved about this is here's the original one sheet. It's that same artwork, but it says fantastic sights in 3 dimension. I mean, this is a very, this artwork here, this part, not this part here, is classic where, I mean, I love that the 3 dimension, they didn't put that on the disc, I guess, because, home 3D is dead. But this is a really cool book.
Yeah, that could be a reason to not get people confused. Oh, it's 3D. I can't buy it. I can watch it.
One of the things I really love about this booklet, and whoever prepared this package at Universal did a phenomenal job, because they've even got pictures of all the theater marquees when it originally opened, like multiple. They really did a bang up job. It also, and of course, the great Jack Arnold directed this movie. It also comes with a frame. You can't really see it, but an actual film frame from the movie. And it's really cool. It's been selected to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the movie. I mean, that's kind of a cool thing, and it's got one of our stars. It's not a particularly great film frame, but that's a big film frame. Very cool. And then it comes with a certificate of authenticity. I have number 2,393 of 5,000. And then I haven't opened these, obviously, but it also comes with what you love, art cards.
Nice.
So this to me is an incredible release of this movie. And I don't have any complaints. Yeah. And I
that's good to know.
Yeah, and I would say that, for Universal, somebody at Universal was... I mean, and it also does come with a digital download. They did a wonderful job. This is a wonderful package, and if you like 50s sci-fi as I do, this is an essential release. And coming from a big studio, this is a really cool thing that they made. And why does Universal get it?
You remember the thing that had the same design as the Studio Canal box sets?
Well, I mean, that was only in Europe, though. Yeah. Only in Europe. They knew. I finally did get my Babylon 5 4K.
Oh,
and
nice.
they added the 100th anniversary Warner Brothers sticker there instead of making it the 100th anniversary packaging. Again, Warner Brothers, that's lame. Because your 100th anniversary packaging is cool, but nobody thought to do it. So this is sort of an afterthought. But, I haven't watched it yet. Happy to have it. I had to rock Little My Bloody Valentine. This is one of my favorite 80s slashers because it really has bite to it. Now, I didn't go for their special edition, no holds barred. I didn't really need it, but I really do like. This was one of my favorite 80s slashers.
Rob,
well, they put out like a special edition with swag and stuff. So,
from Shout itself.
Yeah. So I didn't get it, but I got this, My Bloody Valentine 4K. Why not? One of my favorite of the 80s slashers. It has real bite to it. And then, of course, bro.
Oh, you got it already. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, now I did not get the big steelbook, but again, this is from Lionsgate. It's a 4-disc special edition, 4K. It's got the black and white version and a great release. So, very happy to have this. Now, again, Frank Darabont directed this. He directed, of course, Shawshank Redemption. He directed Green Mile, and he directed this. I really love this movie, but I don't like Frank Darabont's ending. The theatrical ending. I won't get into it, but I thought it was unnecessary and really mean-spirited.
but that's what sets the movie apart for most people, bro.
I guess. But other than that, I mean, I really like the movie, and the black and white version's really, really good. And I wish Frank Darabont would make another movie. Come on, Frank. Now, do you have any more to show, or should I just keep going?
I have stuff to show, but I would say we do some other stuff.
All right. Well, let's see if we got some super chats
Yeah.
or tips or anything. Let's go back. So, Alexander Dukas says James Cameron personally supervised the Abyss 4K, so no worries. There you go. Thomas Logan says, in Miller and Stentz's X-Men versus Fantastic Four, the Human Torch burns a hole in New York City while fighting Molecule Man. The Superhuman Registration Act is thus implemented. That I think that's cool. I have not read Zach and Ashley's script. Maybe I can ask them. But there you go. Guy Newby says, I've just put up a separate shelf for films released in 1982. I have a neon 1982 sign ordered for it. Now I just need a Tron or a Thing statue to bookend it. I was 9 that year, and I remember it fondly. Well, hope you've watched the 1982 documentary that I was in, that Mark Altman made with Roger Lay Jr. and Scott Mantz. You probably have. That's why you're mentioning it. So, yeah, 1982 was a fine, fine year. It's funny, my friend Cliff Stevenson got me a light-up Tron sign that's the recreation of the glass from the video game, which I should have on my shelf behind me. So yeah, you need a Tron sign. You need to do that. Absolutely 100%. 200 Watt Studio sends in a super chat. Our friend 200 Watt Studio and says, Rob, Kino Lorber just heard your jingle today, and they are pulling their unofficial sponsorship and request you never mention their name ever again. Let me just point out, can I just say, Kino Lorber, right there, releasing Face Off. You think I'm never going to not mention their name? I mean, I'll tell you something. I read an article, Mike Bodden sent me an article about how influencers are no longer what advertisers are going for. They want to partner up with content creators that actually will do things like make up songs about a product they love and sing. So you're wrong, 200 Watt Studio. What I did for Kino Lorber today will echo through eternity, not unlike Maximus's troops at the Battle of Germania. So come on. They might not have liked my rendition of the song. I'm going to work on that. But Kino Lorber can't pay for the kind of engagement, and they don't have to. They just send me discs, and I will give them the engagement they want and the engagement they deserve, by God.
As long as you don't get a music copyright strike, Rob. But you're right. It's strange for me that Paramount didn't put out this title themselves.
And also, big movies like Indecent Proposal, Kino Lorber put that out. Put it out, and by the way, the Paramount titles they put out, Kino Lorber, lest we not forget, put out Staying Alive. This in 4K with Dolby. I think that's got Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos on it. Paramount's doing these transfers, and they're not. But Paramount's doing weird stuff, like they'll release their Blu-ray of like Vanilla Sky, and they'll look at the sales figures and then decide to release the 4K, or maybe that is smart. Paramount, they kind of know what's up now. Paramount Home Video, I know. What bums me out is like they'll put out something like Mommy Dearest and I won't get a 4K. I know George Feltenstein over at Warner Archive. No one wants Mommy Dearest on 4K more than George Feltenstein, and I do. Because we both have impeccable taste. Unimpeachable taste, I must say. So George Feltenstein and I know. When they delayed Mommy Dearest, we were commiserating on the phone. Like, why? Why are we not having the Blu-ray of Mommy Dearest? And if you haven't seen Mommy Dearest, watch it and bask in the glory. And actually, you know what? I think that Mommy Dearest might make a great double feature with Showgirls if you're going to go to Vinegar Syndrome and get that beautiful, gorgeous disc. Because you should.
Yeah. But I would think that Face Off was a big seller on DVD, Rob. It was
I would too.
The start of the format. When DVD came out, I think it was a flipper disc, the German one. So you've had to change the sides, I think. It
Yeah, I
wasn't
mean,
even on one disc.
yeah, no, it's and I love Face Off. It's great.
Yeah, me too.
So, Pod Racing Palpatine
Yeah.
asks, now this is a very important question.
Okay.
And, I just sung the praises of Universal with their beautiful It Came From Outer Space disc. Beautiful. With, by the way, the 3D on it. I didn't do a very good job setting up that bit, but it is the 3D is on it. It just, I would have loved to have seen 3D plastered across, because that artwork with the 3-dimensional, anyway, it's fine. Just to have it. So Pod Racing Palpatine asks, and this is, listen to me now, why is Conan the Destroyer on 4K and not Conan the Barbarian? Why? Why indeed? Conan the Barbarian, again, another movie from 1982. That movie kicks ass. I mean, I would dare say that before Lord of the Rings came out, I think that Conan the Barbarian and Excalibur, because I consider Excalibur a fantasy movie. I think Excalibur and Conan were the best fantasy movies of the 80s. Somebody might say Dragon Slayer, but I didn't enjoy watching Dragon Slayer as much as I enjoyed the R-rated delights of Excalibur. Again, can we just talk about Warner Brothers and their 100th anniversary? Where the fuck is a 4K of Excalibur? Where is it? Are we going to get it? We're not. We're in the second week of October, and how you know why? Here, can I just look? I'll tell you something.
There you go.
There are people. There are good people at the studios trying to catch up. I know there's some people at Disney. They're inundated. They're. You know what I just realized? You know what I didn't get?
Yeah.
I didn't get my Prey disc.
Okay.
I mean, I literally didn't get it.
Yeah. Did you order the Steelbook from Best Buy?
No, I didn't.
Okay, the normal version.
Normal version, I didn't. There's a Best Buy that I go up to that not many people go to. And if they have stuff there, I'll pick it up. But, yeah, so I don't have my Prey. But there are good people. But at Warner Brothers, the people that are running the main, not George Feltenstein and the folks over at Warner Archive that are crushing it. I'm talking about. I mean, I rip on them every week, and I, as well I should. But even the people at Disney, there's people. How is it that you have the 100th anniversary of your studio, and admittedly and arguably that 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Mary Poppins, two of your best live action fantasy films, that Walt himself supervised. I mean, two of the great fantasy films of the era are not on 4K. How this for your 100th anniversary? You know why? Because someone's like, we don't even know what 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is. Well, it's just, and Warner Brothers is the same thing. No Excalibur for your 100th anniversary. If you're not going to put it out, give it to Criterion. Barry Lyndon, let Criterion release it in 4K. One of the Warner Brothers titles
or Select Short, since they did JFK.
Well, that's the thing. Or
Select.
That's another thing. Give it to Select. I mean, I will say this. I can't say what it is, but there's another Warner, a particular favorite. Maybe it's science fiction. Maybe it's sci-fi. Maybe it's horror. There's a Warner Brothers title that I dearly love that has been given to a boutique label. I can't say what it is, but it's not going to be out this year. But I can't wait to get it. But it should have been out this year. Why has Warner Brothers not mined their catalog? Especially, you look at these science fiction. Any science fiction horror catalog title shows up in the top 10 list for all the people that I understand the 4K market's small. But give me what we want. Give me what we want. Give me what we want. It's amazing to me that Warner Brothers has all of these great science fiction. You know why they're not out? Because no one at Warner Brothers that's working, George Feltenstein could tell you, but everything at the studio is compartmentalized and everybody's competing against one another. I would say go to the people that know their shit and let them do. Why isn't Warner Brothers, as I said, those Columbia box sets, here's what Warner Brothers should do. I have a proposal for Warner Brothers. I actually wrote it up. Mike Bodden and I wrote it up. we have a proposal. I would say this. Hey, Warner Brothers, we, Imagination Connoisseurs Unlimited, our company, I've worked for you before. I produced the Superman Returns 3-hour documentary, did a lot of other work. I also produced a movie that you released, actually that Shout released, a Warner title called The Hills Run Red. Here's what I'd like to propose to you, Warner Brothers, and I'm willing to oversee it for a very small price. You need to do Columbia Pictures when they did their 4K box sets of 12 movies, where they released films throughout their history in 4K. Warner Brothers needs to do that with the MGM and Warner Brothers catalogs on 4K. And you need to do box sets. They should have been done for the 100th anniversary, but you can change. You can do good. You can call me up. George Feltenstein has my number. Call me up, and you should say, Rob, we want you to come on and consult. And here's the 2 titles that you should remaster from the 50s in 4K, starting with Them, the Giant Ant movie, and Forbidden Planet. Okay? Forbidden Planet desperately needs a 4K release. If you don't know those 2 movies, they're very famous movies, but they should be in these discs. And, of course, we'll have Them and Forbidden Planet. We'll bring up, those will be the classic titles that'll be in that box, that first box set. But there's all kinds of, so it's fantasy, sci-fi, and horror in 4K. Give me a call. I got ideas. I'll tell you what you should release, because you're sitting on a gold mine, and you idiots did not mine that for your 100th anniversary. By the way, another one that you should get on right now that's going to be in this box set is The Right Fucking Stuff, which you people don't have. Get on that. 4K, Atmos, Dolby Vision. Make it happen. Everybody who has a 4K disc system will buy The Right Stuff. It's a banger.
There you go, Warner. Make it happen.
So there you go.
Yeah.
200 Watt Studio says, I haven't heard, 200 Watt Studio is once again ripping on my Kino Lorber song, and says, I haven't heard something like that since Peter Brady was inside his dad's car moaning, trying to get his voice to change. You know what? Copacabana is my go-to karaoke song, and I can sing it a cappella. I won't, because I'll get demonetized, but
Quickly.
next time I see you, I'll pull it out and sing. Just saying. Where were we? We've caught up on Super Chats.
Rob.
We're caught up.
Okay. So, Rob, where do you want to go? I have the live chat or the controversy?
Wait, do you still have more stuff to show?
Yeah, I would have 2 more titles to show.
Okay, why don't we go? You mentioned this controversy. I'm dying to know what this controversy is.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cede the floor to you, and I want Bastian controversy to now take the floor.
Okay. The biggest enemy of collecting physical media is are not the streaming services. It is space.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. I know what you're going to talk about. Okay, first of all, can I just, before you explain what you've done?
Yeah.
What you've done.
Rob. I'm surprised that I'm still on the show, Rob. I'm still surprised.
Okay, I didn't know what you meant. This Marie Kondo bullshit. Now, first of all, one of the great joys of having a lovely physical media collection is to be able to have people come in and look at your collection, see all the spines turned outward, so they can look at all the titles you have, and you can see the gorgeous boxes from all the boutique labels and all of that. I mean, if you look at our friend Serial at Midnight, if you look behind him, if you look at Elliot Cohen and his dulcet voice. By the way, you know what? I'm an Elliot Cohen fan. We got to get Elliot Cohen to come on this show, because he's got great taste. His wall of beautiful boxes and physical media. I just want to say that what you've done, you're right. I was contemplating, are we going to end this professional association? But I've decided to keep you on. But I'm going to now allow you to I'll give you the floor. I just want to say that. So the floor is yours.
So thanks to our friend Heath from Serial at Midnight, I saw a video. And yes, the first instinct of me as a collector was, no, I'm not doing that. But then I thought about it and I said, well, I will try this. And I have to say, thanks, Heath, because this is probably a lifesaver, and I will keep doing it. But what I'm talking about is simply, I will show it. Because we all know this is just a standard Blu-ray with the standard MRA. What I do now is I'm taking these titles and put them in such sleeves and the disc in this sleeve. So what I will do, I take out the cover. Then you fold the cover because you already have it folded right. You fold it at that point. Make it as small as you can. Put it in the sleeve. And it doesn't matter if it's a small MRA or a big MRA. It fits. It looks like this. Then we take the disc out. And I bought these nice little pads with some felt. You put the disc in this, and then the disc goes inside that package. We close it, flatten it a little bit, and was once was this is now just this. And what I'm missing is nothing. The only thing that I'm missing is just this blue MRA case. And I know people. You have questions. I have written it down when I was at my workplace because I had the same questions, considering changing it to this. The first question, but Dietz, how do you find a specific title without seeing the spine? Well, in the word of famous red rocker Sammy Hagar, there's only one way to rock. And in the words of famous Robert Meyer Burnett, there's only one way to catalog your titles, and that is alphabetically, which my collection wasn't even alphabetically. But now I started.
Damn right.
Yeah. And now I started, when I switched over to this version, to put them alphabetically. And of course, how do I find stuff? You just put the title out. Where are you? Okay, L. I search a title with P. Okay, then I go further down the line. Yes, you are missing the spine. But that, for me, is the only drawback of this version. This was the first question. How do I find stuff? Because, let me just show you a few when you put them together. And it's more now like you would go through comics. You would have them like comics. And you can easily have 10 in your hands, stifle through them, look at them, and these are now finally alphabetized. And for me, let's just say you leave it with the spine as you want it. Well, okay, they are not in alphabetical order. But what can happen is something like this. You have one with an O-ring, then you have one thin, then you have one O-ring again, then you have a thick one, and then you have even a black one. Does this really look that appealing just because it's alphabetized and you can read the spine? Not really.
Yes, it does.
The other thing, when you do collect stuff, because the studios always fuck with us. Those two look the same. And then come the fourth one. And of course, it's not fitting anymore. It's not silver anymore. Now it's green. And the back is longer. Okay, second question.
Why do you have weeds?
Well, Weeds was great. Great series. Loved Weeds.
Are you a pot smoker?
No, but I love the series.
I didn't think you got high.
But Dietz!
You only drink sugary drinks.
Yeah. But Dietz, sometimes there's artwork on the back of the cover. That is correct. But from my perspective, how good through a blue, and it does it does only apply to just a standard MRA case. I'm not putting a second side in this version. Just the normal stuff.
What do you do with the gamma ray cases?
Rob, they have to go. Otherwise, this would be useless.
So you're polluting the universe. Somebody has to dispose of those. They go in the garbage and then where? Back into some landfill where they're going to lay for 1,000 years? So you're destroying the universe.
If you have the back on the cover, just through the blue tint, does it really look that good to look at if there's cover artwork behind it? But now I can just hold it out and look at it throughout, having to look at through the blue.
You know, I really liked Heath from Serial at Midnight. I really like his show. Yep. I watch him. I like his presence. He does great interviews. He's dead to me now, just so you know. Heath, look what you've done. You've corrupted my friend.
Yeah. But it was the only thing that I had to do, considering if you have the space, of course, you don't need to do that. But I've run out of space probably 5 or 10 years ago. So this was really a great thing for me to do. So speaking of cover artwork on the back. Third point. But deeds! What about a double disc set? No problem with that either. If it's just a double disc set, like this Harry Potter one was, since you've got the felt in between, you put one on the one side and the other on the back. So if it's a double disc, no problem there. Of course, if it's a 3-year array, then I won't change it. Of course.
So if they have O-rings, you're keeping the O-ring.
I'm coming to that, Rob. Hold on your horses.
Okay.
It, Rob.
I'm just trying to fathom his horror.
Yeah. Fourth question. But deeds. What if the disc houses a booklet? Well, it's a case-by-case cases, but normally, oftentimes, the MRA stuff doesn't even contain a booklet. What contains often booklets are music Blu-rays. And this, no problem. Hold the booklet and put it in it too, because the booklet is never bigger than the actual cover. So if it's not a thick book or just a booklet, you can easily put that in this one too. So, and of course, the last question is, of course, but deeds. What if the disc comes with an O-ring? Well, this is a case-by-case scenario where you decide, will you keep the O-ring or will you get rid of the O-ring? Or
as the kids that don't know any better say, the slipcase.
Yeah. Like I told you, Rob, it has a reversible cover artwork. So this one, I of course will not change into this new version. This stays as it is if I have a reversible cover artwork.
Okay, smart guy. I got a further question. So when you put these on your shelf, do you then stick the boxes that have the O-rings in the middle alphabetically? And so the class...
No, they come separate. They come separately, Rob.
So that's on a separate shelf. You don't put them together. Yeah. So now you have two different shelves of alphabetized discs instead of everything alphabetized. Yeah. So you've made your collection that much more complex.
Yeah, but if it's, let me just put, where is it? Where do I have? I
strenuously object to this.
Yeah, you can, Rob. You can. If it's just an O-ring that gives me no new information at all. Oh my
God.
And then it's a movie that's not a high value considering the movie itself, then this one will fly into the paper, in the old paper. So it's a case-by-case scenario considering.
Dude, you should sell your slipcases on eBay to people.
Something
who have bad slipcases.
Something like this, which comes as a relief, of course. This is not going in the new version. So O-ring is a case-by-case scenario. How much do you like the movie? Is the O-ring something special? Like this, shiny, and of course I keep it. But if the movie has not a high value, it is the same as the cover below. No new information you can gather, then you throw it out. And here comes the big advantage. In the space where I normally would have 20 MRAs beside each other, and we are talking about the small ones, not the thick ones. In the same space
That's what she said.
where you have 20 discs, I now can store 100 if I do it this way. So 5 times the capacity where you normally had just 20. If you have the space, no problem. Do it as always. Keep the MRA, keep the spine, but I have no space anymore. So if I can have 100 discs in the place where before that could only store 20, and now I can in this do 100, and it's more like going through cool comic variation. I thank you. I love those sleeves. And I will continue. I have done the first 350, and I will continue. And like I said, it's just for MRAs. It's not for vinegar syndrome stuff, people. It's just for a standard MRA. Or for just a movie like this. This will go into that new sleeve cover. I like them. So this is what I would like to show, considering the controversy.
You're out. You're out of the family.
Okay, I expected that. But thank you. I love the sleeves. Especially if you consider how much space you can now store how many movies against the old stuff. A big one, a thick one, a thin one. Yeah, that looks pretty attractive. Yeah. There you go, Rob. There you go.
That's what you want to do.
That's what he's brought to the table. And I thank him for that. And 3 of my worker colleagues already started to do the same. I ordered some sleeves for them. So you get 50, 50 from the sleeves, and then 50 from those comfort sleeve with felt. And the great thing, Rob, now that I finally going through my collection again, the circle comes around. I found new Cat in the Bags because I didn't know I own this movie. I don't know what this movie is about. I have no memories of that movie. And I put out 3 of those movies. I don't remember that Seth Rogen and Michael Pena did a movie called Observe and Report.
Which is pretty good, too, by the way.
Okay, it's a Cat in the Bag again, Rob. Then I had no idea that Lucy Liu did some underworld variation called Rise. Haven't seen it in the longest time.
Thing is, you're freely admitting this on this show.
Yeah. And Channing Tatum and Channing Bale in The Eagle. It says, a thunderous adventure. I have no memories about it. So I have new Cat in the Bags, Rob, when I go through my collection now again. Okay. Here's the controversy. If you have space, do it the old way. I don't have the space. I have to change it.
I would just like to say that Thomas Logan says, this is terrible, DB. Sacrilege. Brother.
There we go.
Bullocks. Thomas Logan says, Serial at Midnight should now be banned from Let's Get Physical Media.
Yeah.
And super chat, it just says, Vegas Robocop sends in a super chat and says, D, drop the disc. You're under arrest. I mean, I'm with them all. I mean, here's the thing. How can you have people come to your house and you're going to ask them to flip through?
Rob. Don't many people come to my house. So,
but isn't that sad?
Not easy.
It's sad now that you're gonna have your house all organized with your movie collection. You know, you can have people come over at night, bring a 6-pack, bring some brewskis, watch a double feature of Deets.
Yeah. Then I say, you want to go through my movie collection? Here, I have 10 discs. Go through them, stumble through them. Easy peasy.
But wouldn't it be easier if they could just look at the titles on a wall and they could stroll through, and your collection looks even more impressive? Doesn't it look a little junky? Doesn't it look a little junky? Okay. All right. So it's practical.
I don't have the space, Rob.
I understand. Yeah. I understand the modern age. Now,
Rob, 100 title against 20 before. 100 against 20. That is a significant amount of space.
Okay.
If you can score 100 against 20. It's not about 20 against 30 against 40. No. Where I can store 24 before, now I can store in this version 100. 100 titles this way.
Our squire of squirting, Sonny Dominguez, says, Dieter's physical media collection hack is good. Now you need to clip this segment out and post it separately. There's an audience for people who like to learn about such ideas. Can Dieter provide links to these materials?
I can give the links to Rob because Rob is the channel owner. Only he can put them later in the comments.
Yeah, so I'll put the links down. And I think Sonny, I think that's a good point. Sonny, the squire of squirting, he always has something interesting to say, so maybe we will do that. Let's do that. And everybody who have watched this segment of Let's Get Physical Media and you like what you see, join Dieter, Bastian, and myself every Sunday at 11 o'clock on the Burnettwork to talk about physical media and the week that was. I promise you, we're two of the most entertaining and effervescent presences on all of the interwebs and certainly on YouTube in our little physical media space.
And I totally get it. The first instinct is, oh my God, no, I'm not doing that. This was my first instinct too. But considering the space you save, and you don't missing out. And I wanted to add one more thing. Where do I have it? Is this really, a nice echo. Is this really good for the cover? How often you probably even tear it because it's that loosely. Yeah. Adios, muchacho.
Well, it's a fair point, and we'll see what the folks at home have to say in the comments below.
So you will see next week another guy.
No, I have to be. Actually, Guy Newby says I haven't been this offended since Halloween Kills.
Oh, come on, Guy Newby. Halloween Kills was a nice comedy.
All right.
Some good laughs with Halloween Kills.
Okay.
It's a comedy, Rob. It works as a comedy, at least.
What can I say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Don't worry, Rob. Put that idea already on Instagram, so I was aware what I will be getting into. And I'll give a shout out to Yves because I think this was a great idea.
You know what? You can't do that too. Steelbooks.
No,
and you know what?
And it's not for steelbooks, Rob. It's just for standard Emery.
I mean, this is going to seem shocking to you, but I did not have Ghostbusters in 4K.
Okay.
I didn't. And Sony, they reissued this long sold out Ghostbusters Steelbook with Ghostbusters 1 and 2 in 4K. And while it's not a very exciting Steelbook, it's relatively excellent. Nice matte finish. I don't like the fact that there's so many discs. I mean, dude, if you look inside here, so in this Steelbook, there's like 4 discs stacked on this post. I mean,
but it's only part 1 and 2. Why
it's
so many
it's Ghostbusters 1 and 2, but then you've got, okay, let's see how many discs are actually in this set. Let's take a look. On one side here, we have Ghostbusters 2 and Ghostbusters in 4K. All right? Okay. That's really all I want. Because I have other Ghostbusters sets on Blu-ray. But now, on the other side, we have Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, these can go. I'll throw them, actually. They're out. And then, of course, we have the special features disc
Yeah.
here. So there's a total of 5 discs on 2 posts, which I think is kind of bullshit. But now, since I've alleviated my problem by getting rid of the Blu-ray discs because I already have them, so now Ghostbusters will be here, and Ghostbusters 2 will be here, and my 4Ks are intact, and I will keep the original Blu-rays with all the special features. So there you go. Oh, and I might as well keep your digital, which I never use. One day I'll give all my digital files away, but do they really matter? Because one day they're going to be gone anyway.
Yeah.
So there you go. I did get this week.
Yeah.
Which I was happy.
Were they even released at the beginning individually? Wasn't there only the box set at the beginning?
In 4K? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Which I never... Remember that was that big, really cool box set with all the swag, and I never got that.
Was Afterlife 2 was everything in this set.
And the thing is, which I have on 4K, I know it's blasphemous, but I love Ghostbusters, but I am not a Ghostbusters acolyte, although I do have all the cool Blitzway 6-scale Ghostbusters figures. So I never did get that really cool box set, and to be honest, I should have, because that was a really cool box set. I just didn't get it. So now what I like to do, unlike you, is I like to take my nice steelbooks and put them in these beautiful sleeves so I can take care of them and they stay unscathed. So I have a couple more things to show. Do you?
Yeah. Two more.
Me too. I've got 2 more things to show.
Okay.
You go.
I go. Okay. The first one, we come to 2 arrow sets. The first one is Brian De Palma's Carlito's Way.
All right, we can do that together because I too.
The same cover, Rob. The same cover.
Same cover.
Because I think there were 2 different cover artworks, but
reversible sleeves.
Yeah, there you go.
See, it depends. Sometimes I'll go. It depends. I'll go, but then again, another great Arrow box set. I mean, this is really interesting that they gave Carlito's Way this kind of treatment, and it's got a great booklet in it. I actually really love this cover artwork. It's interesting. Let me see yours. Oh, you have a different camera. The colors.
No, I have the same.
No, I was going to say, but just the way it looks, the way our cameras are picking up the color looks a little different. It's fine. Just our cameras. But I love this movie, and so it's great.
It smells nice.
I know. I love the way these smell.
Yeah.
Second best smell in the world.
So, and did you show the booklet, Rob?
I did not, but it's got a great booklet.
So, let me just put it aside because now it's a mess here.
By the way, Darth Plato says, "Allow me to be the first to welcome Dieter into the ranks of the Darths." You're officially Darth Dieter.
No, nice.
Darth Dieter. We need anyone out there? We need some Darth Dieter fan art. If I'm the pharaoh of physical media,
look at those fancy.
He's the Darth Dieter of physical media. We need the Darth Dieter of physical media.
Where is my scissor? Here's my scissor. The last one I haven't opened, Rob. I haven't opened from the package, but not opened in itself. The Psycho box set, Rob.
Oh, I haven't got that. So I don't know if I didn't. Wow. Yeah, I'm conflicted.
Let us put a little bit of you in it. Haven't even opened it.
Well, let's see. Let's take a gander.
Yeah. Look at all those thick MRAs. God damn it, Arrow. So, let's get that away from the side. And this is nice. So we got.
Yeah, that's really. I really like. People complained about that, but I think it's really cool.
Okay, why? Why?
I don't know. Why do people complain about anything? I like it.
Don't know what complaints there are with this. So we have, of course, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And here, the last thing is that a book. Let us have to see. Yes, it is a book, a thick book. So probably, I would think so, history for all the 4 movies. And then we have the classic first one. But I would think this is just, so this is just a 4K. So this set is available as just Blu-ray also, I would
I think so.
believe. So we have some. Okay, this was very, very famous. Then we have a poster, which is probably, cover art. Oh, don't know this one. Robert, and I remember, considering Psycho, that instead of a trailer, there was Alfred Hitchcock showing you the sets for the movie.
Yeah, that's the original Psycho trailer. It's one of the great trailers. It's so good.
Yeah.
The bathroom.
Yeah. So wait, I put that aside. Put it back later.
Yeah.
I made a mess. So, number 1, the first one. Let me see if the second and the third.
Do those have reversible covers with the original one sheets on them?
Oh, you're right, Rob. You're right.
Ooh, there you go.
Let me just see, Rob. Okay, definitely with, like Rob said, with the original one. You're correct, Rob. Didn't even check that.
Gotta love that they go back to the original artwork. Very much appreciate
Psycho 2.
that.
Let me just go quickly back to the first one. Let me see there. Yes. There too. So let me just see. Oh, this is actually tough, I would say. But I think I'll change it. Because this one is new to me too, even if it looks like original cover artwork.
Yeah, that's like that's really cool.
Yeah, I don't.
That's like original. Yeah, it's like the original one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where's the third one? There's the third one. There's always stuff in it. So poster stuff. So reversible cover artwork. Of course, we go with the original because those are, I don't know, not really.
Yeah, those
really
I don't like
fancy.
that weird stylized art. That's not good. Not
so luckily we can change it to get the key to Bates Hotel. So third, and they are really, really, really strange. Really strange. Oh, the fourth one has 2 discs. So Psycho 4, the beginning. TV aspect ratio is here in it too. So 2 different versions of the movie. Let me just see. Yeah, okay. We switched them all, the first 3, so let's switch the fourth one too. So the Psycho edition was the last one.
Well,
to show.
I have.
Look at this thick cases. God damn it, L.
It's all good, man. I've got, I guess, the final, the piece de resistance of today's Let's Get Physical Media. I have one of my favorite movies, I guess call it the Star Wars of folk horror. Of course, the 4K UHD Studio Canal version of The Wicker Man. And look at how thick this box is, man. This is some Shane Steele stuff right here. Look at that. So this is so if you don't know the Wicker Man, I don't want to recount it because you gotta. So when you open this up, it's got a metal clasp on it, and you open it up. Oops, and there is this pop out 3-dimensional. You can see how it works like that, and it says on the pop out thing, it says, "You'll simply never understand the true nature of sacrifice." So that pops up, and then it's got this bottom, and then this opens up to the rest of the box. Now, what I love, and I don't think I can order this in the United States, but they have an ad for a company that makes a Wicker Man candle.
Yeah.
Maybe I should talk to the lovely Emma Bannon and see if she can hook me up, or the Vickster with this. This, I want multiple Wicker
For
Man.
Christmas. Get me some candles for Christmas.
I want multiple Wicker Man candles. And then, okay, so there's posters, which I haven't opened up. But then there's all kinds of other stuff in here that, let's see, let's put this here. So first of all, there's a bunch of art cards, and I love this. It's like, greetings from Summer Isle, which is pretty funny. So if you know what that kind of stuff is, it's great. Now, there's another great collector's edition booklet, and this is a little oversized because the packaging is better. But again, great stills. They do a really good job with this. Great stills, great art, great things. And then this is, as you would say, a diggy pack that has the movie. These are the movies, and there's multiple cuts of Wicker Man in here. So you have the 4K version of Wicker Man.
Final cut.
There's 2 different versions, actually, here. There's, I would imagine that these are multiple different, both of these are in 4K. Yeah. One's probably the director's cut.
The director's cut, final cut, and the theatrical version.
Yeah, so you got multiple, and you've also got the soundtracks. So here they all are. Here are all the discs that come in this package. So, very exciting. Very exciting. So 2 are in 4K, 2 are on Blu-ray, and 1 is a CD with the soundtrack. So I would say that I have my wooden box from Anchor Bay, I think. I would say now, though, that this is the definitive Wicker Man collection. I know that Lionsgate is releasing this domestically. Okay. I don't know how much swag there is going to be in it. I'm not sure. But in addition, let's see what these posters are. I don't know. I'm sure they have the new artwork. I really do like the 50th anniversary poster. And like, these are things, as I said, one day if I was able to rebuild this room, the observatory from scratch, and turn it into a real home theater, a 2-story place. So this is cool. You've got a British quad style, different from our movie posters that are like this. The British posters are like this. And this looks kind of like the original release of it.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And then there's this poster, and this is on, that matte finish. It's really nice, the finish. And then this is also a quad of, I love this. I really love this artwork. So here's the 50th anniversary artwork of the Wicker Man. This is really cool to have. Actually, this would be fun to just frame and put next to your physical media collection. That's cool. So that's everything in the Ultimate Wicker Man box. And again, you know what? My friend Clark Von Trotha is calling me. I'm gonna. Hey, Clark.
Hey, man, what's happening?
Well, Dieter and I are live on Let's Get Physical Media, your favorite show. And since you're calling me, I figured I would just pick up the phone. I was just showing my Studio Canal Wicker Man box. And Clark.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I love that box set. It is incredible. I just got that myself. And can you say one of the releases of the year? For sure.
Absolutely.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah. How's the show going?
The show is going well. I should tell everybody that I met Clark in high school. We went to Mercer Island High School together. He was a year. You were class of '86, right?
Correct. Class of '86. And Bob and I would go to all the cool films, Cronenberg, Mario Bava. The list goes on.
We did everything. You were one of the crew. We were all part of the same kind of crew. You, me, Shade. We had the crew, Shade Roop. Well, listen, I'm going to finish the show, but I just figured I'd have you come on just for a brief moment.
Aww.
Why don't you tell the folks at home what you do?
Yeah, so I'm a system designer. I'm a low-voltage system designer. So I design really nice theater rooms and low-voltage systems for people. So basically lighting control, networks, full home theater, distributed audio, all that. So if you're looking for the latest and greatest in that world, that's what I do. I design that for people.
What's the most expensive home theater system you've designed?
The most expensive with mini LED, actually micro LED walls and all that stuff. And you get into really expensive theater rooms, probably like a single room, I would say in that probably about 800,000. All in with all parts and pieces, about 800 grand.
Nice.
But yeah, they're all like multi-aspect screens, so you can watch movies without, like 2.4 or 2.35 and then 16:9 or 4.3, and you can create different aspects with screens that are completely motorized. So the side, just like a theater, so they move from the top and the bottom and from the sides, and then the projectors are all laser projectors with lens memory and stuff, and then of course 4K and HDR. You can't do Dolby Vision, as you know, with resi stuff, but in homes. But yeah, it's great. Yeah, and full Atmos rooms and power and speakers and equipment. It all matters. So everything you're putting in. I mean, there's so much to look at now. There's so many incredible things that have turned in our industry in the last decade that are just unbelievable. But keep buying physical media. Keep buying physical media. God bless all the lovely companies out there that are putting out such incredible stuff right now. And by the way, just before I go, just wanted to mention to everybody, don't sleep on that Trevor Horn Super Deluxe Edition set that has Iggy Pop doing Personal Jesus in Atmos. Come on now. Come on. Can't go wrong with that. So Super Deluxe Edition, people, go there if you haven't and pick up some of the great titles Bob's talked about. But it's incredible. So but we'll talk.
But wait, before you go, I need you to opine on one really critical issue that's arisen on this show.
Oh, okay, sure.
How do you feel about removing your discs from their Amray cases and putting them in sleeves and throwing the Amray cases away?
I can't do that. Myself. I mean, I understand why people are doing it just for space purposes and so on, and coming up with ingenious ways to kind of keep the cover art and everything. But with all these incredible deluxe box sets that are coming out, which aren't ending anytime soon, from boutique labels, as well as
we're going to keep those.
So
I was just meaning the single CD discs with only like a little insert, not like our beautiful Second Sight or Arrow boxes, anything like that.
So I'll give you my 2 cents on it. It's a great way to save dollars for sure in terms of storage. 100%. There's a couple places to go on that. Serial at Midnight has talked about that a little bit. The guy on Serial at Midnight.
Yeah, that's that. Heath polluted the mind of Dieter, and now Dieter's following suit.
But Dieter, I'll say one thing to you. There is an incredible company that I use for media storage that I learned from Abbey Road when I used to work for Sony Music in London, and they're incredible. The company's called CAN, CAN-AM.ca. They're out of Canada, and they make custom media hard fireproof casing, and you can put a ton of media in these cases in a very small space. So in my house, I have, probably 8,000 films and, I don't know, 5,000 or 6,000 CDs, and most of them, I would say 85% of them are in these Can-Am cases, and they don't take up a lot of room. And I live in a Victorian here in Portland. It's a couple thousand square feet, so that's fine.
There you go.
Putting it out in the ether, just putting it out in the ether. Can-Am, that's the really cool way to go. But if you don't want to get rid of it, but if you're trying to really minimize the space, I get it. I understand it, but I can't do it myself personally. But I understand those who do. To save space. So. But Dieter, we love you here in Portland. We love you, Bob, and we can't wait for you to come up to Portland, Bob. We see you next.
I'll see you on the 17th.
Sounds great. I look forward to it, man.
All right, dude.
Take
I'll
care,
see you
guys.
later.
Bye.
And that was my friend Clark.
He can
Von
understand
Trotha.
it, Rob. He's not going there, but he can understand it.
Well, Clark's one of my oldest friends, and he and I, we park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay. All I can say is that. So it's funny we're both
It's good to know.
putting things, our discs and sleeves. Anyway, I guess you know what the time has come for. It's time for me to leave and go to the bathroom, take a leak.
Okay, that is for me time to do the live chat, Rob.
All right.
So that you can leave, Rob.
I don't have to go. I was just kidding. I give you the floor.
Okay, let me see. Where do I start? Previously on 2 Let's Get Physical media shows. I missed the ad with the 2 old ladies talking about Tango Shalom that Rob did put out when Tango Shalom came out. He had this nice ad in front of the show. And considering when Rob makes the ad for Designing Hollywood, Michelle D, every time I see beardless Rob in that ad, I get scared. John Kibola, I wish someone can help me pick out a 4K player region 3. Still haven't found one, John. Just look what is available. What is available? Freaking Weiner. Physical media is good when there's a nationwide internet outage. Let's hope there will not be internet outage, but then it's of course great to have physical media. Lord Toth, that's what you get for bringing it updates. Speaking of talking about what Rob was thinking about Ahsoka. The Alex Sorber, I only have a couple of German 4Ks. Then the question is, Alex Sorber, why? Why only a couple of German 4Ks? Tim Hens, are the expendable movies even relevant anymore? I totally forgot what happened in the second and third movie. I would call them relevant, Tim, but I had great time, at least with the first 3. Fourth one, probably not that much. I showed it 2 weeks ago, and like Adventure Square, I came to the same conclusion. Cobweb is awesome, and Adventure Square said it's like a better version of Babadook. And it was great to go in blind, didn't know where it was going. Secular Monk, 3 Days of the Condor, excellent transfer. Nice. Secular Monk, good job, Dieter. Everybody needs to get the 4Ks for Westworld before they ran out, because I showed the Westworld 4K, and we know Max did pull the show from their service. Brandon Bremji, great show. Irene Jobson, personally, I'm terrified of Dieter. Afraid he might spank me, afraid I might like it. Well, Irene, there's a lot of people more now that hate me, considering what was happened 30 minutes ago. Bill Barclay, I see a new Spy Kids movie is out. Maybe Dietz has seen it. No, Bill, I have not seen the new Spy Kids movie. And as you mentioned, I haven't watched it, but didn't notice Alex Vega name on it. Me neither, so that's almost a reason not to watch it. Film 666 fan. Hello, Dieter. Have you seen the final Game of Death disc in the Bruce Lee Arrow box set? Unfortunately not. I've only gotten around to watch the first one. Secular Monk, does anybody know how to get the Arrow UK titles in the US? They are selling individual Bruce Lee 4Ks, but claim they require a UK address. Well, Secular Monk, I think you should be able to find them on Amazon too, not only on the Arrow shop too. And I would think that Amazon will deliver them to you if you can't buy it from the Arrow shop. But I would think so. That would be doable. And speaking of No One Will Save You, the great streaming movie, Enrique Cabada loved it. They should do a 4K disc like Bray. The ending might be a bit controversial without spoiling anything. Xavier Phoenix, No One Will Save You is a nice surprise. Definitely was. And that's it. I see. And that's it. Well, that's why I love Rob and his channel so much. He gives everyone, even the German douche, a voice and a platform. Gary Smith, these guys are addicted to 4K. They have substantially less money because of it. Yes, the bank account is relatively in the red. Equity Group, no one watched Rebels. Unlimited Power, I thought Ahsoka was pretty good. I kinda liked it. Well, Equity Group, I actually watched Rebels. Not the Clone Wars, but I've seen the Rebels. And because there are some stuff considering Ahsoka, Adventure Square, well, what did you think SW stands for? Space Whales, of course, not Star Wars. Roberto Suarez, to be fair, Star Wars has always been more fantasy than sci-fi. Justin Toner, I don't have a problem with the Space Whales. Equity Group, I do like Ahsoka overall, but Thrawn does not look menacing. He should have had an entrance like Thanos and looked like that as well. Kel Razor, Rob. Star Wars is not Star Trek. You don't have to explain every technicality in Star Wars like in Trek. Victor Fontaine, yeah, Thrawn is a hunched over, pot-bellied old man with a wrinkled uniform and blue face paint. Such a disappointment. Noel DBC2, Ahsoka is my jam. Justin Toner, it helps. I love Rebels and the characters involved. No Money G, don't ask questions, Rob. Just consume content. It doesn't have to make sense anymore. Justin Toner, I love Endor and still enjoy Ahsoka. It's all Star Wars to me. Ron C, this is why I love Rob. He speaks his mind with meaning. Thomas Logan, I watched Oppenheimer 5 times in 1570 IMAX. Nolan won 2023. Well, Thomas, wasn't it 6 times? Not only 5. I think it was 6 times. Roberto Suarez, The Equalizer should be about an audiophile trying to get his hi-fi to sound right. Exactly, Roberto. Remember the old Equalizer stuff. Distracting B. I don't want Star Wars to be political, especially if Disney and KK is behind it. Sorry, Rob. Tim Hance, George Lucas himself described Star Wars as being space fantasy on one of the movie audio commentaries. He did. And Tommy Ricknell last week was a replacement for me. Perhaps he will be a replacement forever. He told us again, but he told us last week that he is located in Finland on those islands, but they are speaking Swedish. Adventure Square, I'll buy that for a few dollars, not one, a few. Sean Kibbola, he doesn't mention Rudy or Black Hawk Down. I think we did in the news section, but 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think Rob mentioned Rudy and Black Hawk Down. Demons, how does Deeds find time to watch all these discs with going to work and other social business during a week? Not to mention cramming in Let's Get Physical Media in his schedule. Well, Tim, I don't get around to watch everything. But like Rob said, it's just the knowledge that you have something like Rise with Lucy Liu, in your collection. That gives you freedom, just to know to have it. Wonky Man. Not one Wesley Snipes film. I don't think we haven't, even in the 3 years, haven't shown much Wesley Snipes movie. Tommy Ricknell, Cutthroat Island is in my basket case now. The Steelbook, of course, and I hope it will get to you very soon. Dave SG, to be honest with us, we can take it. You sacrificed Dieter to Netflix. It was necessary to extend the life of physical media. His death will not be in vain. Andy H, watched No One Will Save You and really enjoyed it. The sound mix was really low on Disney Plus. Andy, it was the same for me. It was really low. I had to crank it up 15 dB over my normal setting. So it was actually the same experience for me. Had to crank my amp volume more than usual. Hopefully we'll get a physical release. Irene Jobson, live chat is Dieter's baby. Exactly, it is. Roberto Suarez, wasn't there a remake of The Hitcher with Sean Bean in the Rutger Hauer role? Exactly, Roberto Suarez. There was a remake with Sean Bean as The Hitcher. Tommy Ricknell, the Child's Play box set from Arrow is a complete abomination, horrendous artwork. Arrow will put out a new Child's Play in 2 different variations. Albanian, Mark, I couldn't believe when I read this in the live chat. It is sacrilege that I change the aspect ratio from 16 to 9 if it is letterbox. I can't see the point in having a big TV if it's shrunk down. I know you lose footage from both sides of the screen. I like the black bars. Come on, Albion. It gives it the cinematic feeling. Guy Newbie, I saw the creator yesterday, nearly fell asleep. Not one original idea in the whole film. Looks nice though. Rob, have you seen the creator?
I've seen it twice.
Twice. So you liked it?
You know what? I appreciated it.
Okay.
I wanted it to be better.
Okay. Nice. Roman Chopper. I hate Titanic and The Abyss. They are too boring and predictable, in my opinion. And am I kind of an anomaly here? Yeah, you are, Roman. And Guy Newbie, Titanic was always going to be predictable. Exactly. But it was the journey to take. Bishop Brown. Hey. Frank Stallone songs were way better than the Bee Gees songs for Staying Alive. That's my hill. I will die on. Question for you, Rob, from Roman Chopper. Is Clockwork Orange an art house film? Had an argument with a friend today. I insisted it is not. Rob, would you consider Clockwork Orange an art house movie?
No.
Or not? No.
No,
There you go, Rob.
I mean, look, because it's based on a fairly mainstream novel by Anthony Burgess. Its presentation. Here is the problem. You know, the problem is that audiences for movies, mass audiences for movies, are not getting the diversity of topics and material that they used to get. And the reason for that is, from a studio perspective, the reason for that is that studios are now making movies for a global audience. This was not the case before. While, yes, they were making movies for everybody, the business of Hollywood was focused primarily on the domestic marketplace and other English-speaking, the UK, but the global marketplace was not as developed as it is now. So Hollywood, with the amount of money they're spending, $100 million to $200 million, even more, are serving a global marketplace, which means that the subjects that Hollywood movies can cover that are that much money, and their business model, they can't make movies. They would never make a movie like Clockwork Orange today, because what is the audience for it? You might see it on a streaming service, but at the time, I mean, if you think about Stanley Kubrick's career, at the time he made Clockwork Orange, what he had already made that was released theatrically, Killer's Kiss, The Killer, The Killing, Spartacus, Lolita, Dr. Strangelove. I mean, these were all pretty mainstream movies. Dr. Strangelove was really, that was very Kubrickian in its conceit, 2001, and then he'd made Clockwork Orange. He was not an art house film director, but he became, I think as he moved away from, I mean, The Killing is a great movie, but as he moved away, he was director for hire. But when you look at his concerns with Lolita and certainly Dr. Strangelove, not exactly mainstream fare, but not art house fare. The problem is audiences today are not used to a wide variety of film anymore in terms of the kind of visions that people will finance. So it's a different world. I wouldn't say Clockwork Orange. Clockwork Orange seems like an art house film today, but I wouldn't consider it one.
There you go, Roman. Eucalyptus, unpopular opinion, Barbarian is overrated. I wouldn't say overrated. Sometimes a movie comes really with a massive hype, and then if you just like it or you think, it's probably overrated. Michael, I hate 4K for older movies. Rob, I'm not knowing if people are trolling sometimes because they know I go through the live chat that they will just be featured in the show. No, I hate 4K for older movies. Unbelievable. A World in Pyjamas. This was actually a super chat. Just a quick. Are you playing Starfield? Yes, Science Lady. I'm playing Starfield from time to time, but luckily just in the Game Pass because it's Actually, it's a mediocre game, but in the Game Pass, it's fine. Secular Monk, it's been a productive weekend here. Got 2 new tires to prepare for the fall and winter. Yes, I will have to change my tires for the coming winter too. Secular Monk is Past Lives Worth Watching. Rob already talked about it. He says it's one of the best of the year. King Tanic was in the chat. Did someone say Titanic? Yes, we did. Titanic will come out on 4K Blu-ray. And the men's last one, Rob, we're through. Do not knock Outland, Rob, please, Rob. That movie holds a special place in my heart and memory at the first ever NC-17 rated movie I first ever watched on the big screen at age 11. So don't knock Outland, please, Rob. Rob, I'm through. It's a live chat from 2 episodes.
Well, that's very exciting. The live chat was great. Well, listen, this was a good show. I talked about bringing randos on, but you're like, we can't if it's a 3-hour show, and it's a 3-hour show.
That's our show, yeah.
So
are there some super chats left?
Oh, there are. Yes, there are. And
look at what I've done with this. It's a nice deal.
This has been
great. They feel great.
Now that you're a Darth, you become a Darth. Thomas Logan says,
yeah,
Dieter Bastian was one of the greats. He was
there you go.
great. Stub McShave says, what is your favorite release left to come out in 2023? Is it a movie, concept art, soundtrack, or a book? Well, I mean, in terms of movies, I'm really looking forward to seeing the new Color Purple, believe it or not.
Okay.
I really do want to see Aquaman.
Yeah. Of course, I'm looking forward for the prequel for the Hunger Games, Rob. Of course.
You know what? I have to say that looks fucking great.
Rob, I stayed away from the trailer.
I will say that especially I think it looks excellent. Really, really, really good. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It looks really, really, really impressive.
Cool. Cool to know.
So and I'll watch Captain Marvel because it's a Marvel movie. So yeah, I can't complain. Do you know anything that you might be looking forward to?
Okay, Dune got pushed to next year, so I would have to check. Saw is not playing at the moment here. It will come out relatively late here in Germany. I think it will start in November playing here. Why? I have no idea. Was Stubble just talking about theatrical releases?
No, he said everything: movies, concept art, soundtracks, or book.
What Rob brought up, of course, in the news section, Face Off in 4K.
4K, right?
Yeah. And Point Break, those two bodies.
There you go. Okay, that's good. There's a lot of discs I'm really looking forward to this year. I mean, you've got the Hellraiser
and Bray,
box set.
Of course.
Yeah, Hellraiser in 4K is coming out. The Hellraiser box set. I'm looking forward to that from Arrow. I'm looking forward. I don't think Possession from Second Sight's going to be out in 4K this year, but I want to get that. There's lots of good stuff. So much good stuff. So that's what Stubble says. Darth Plato says that I have a confession to make. Irene Jobson is taller than me. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell. I follow Irene Jobson on Instagram. She's very cute, but I can't tell how tall she is. To me, she could be like one of those really short girls who's a spark plug, or she could be fairly tall. I don't know. I don't have a sense of it. So Irene, until she weighs in, it's a secret. I can't speak to that. Now, Darth Plato also goes on to say, question, which circle of hell would Dante consign Dieter to? Well, the sixth circle of Dante's Inferno is heresy. And I think, the faithful might say what he's done to his video, the cases is heresy. Some people might say he should be relegated to the fourth circle, which is greed.
Okay.
Although I'm just going to send him to the first circle, which is limbo. so he can wander forever in limbo. I don't think
Yeah,
it's fair to. I don't want to stuff him down too far into the old land of eternal damnation. I'm going to keep him. I'm going to keep him where I can. If I need to come back and get Dieter from the first circle of hell, the Sandman style, whatever. Limbo's a good place. I want him to wander with nothing
and contemplate what he has done.
And contemplate what he's done. I think that's the only way to do it. So yeah. But anyway, so there you go. I mean,
okay.
I think that's where that leads us. We're done. We're finished. Yep.
That's it. So, from my end, look at how nice it is. I wanted to show, because I said I would come back to the Ronnie James Dio one. I forgot it, because I got it, of course, in the black 4K, and then I detected that actually the back is actually printed with information that you actually can see through the black case. But the black cases I don't throw away, considering 4K double discs, sometimes they get smashed in the transport. But now I can put it out and look at it nicely in those nice sleeves. And I say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören. And if you need space, think about it. Just the MREs, not the steelbooks, not Vinegar Syndrome stuff. Just the usual MRE stuff. You're not missing anything. I give it over to you, Rob.
Well, I mean, I'm not. You know what? If to each their own. Who am I to tell somebody how they should live their life? So I won't.
Yeah.
If what you're doing makes your life easier for you, I think more power to you, and you should be able to do what you want to do if it's best for you. I've learned that in this long life of mine, and I will grant you this. I would like to see more of your progress, and if it's going to help you, since I've known you, I've never seen what's beyond the frame of your camera. And I
Luckily,
when I was just going to say, but I was going to say that you've shown pictures now of how your collection is shaping up. And I'll say if
alphabetically, finally, Rob.
Alphabetically, if you make your place a better place to live, I can come visit you and we can watch a movie. That's a good thing. So as much as I kid,
just to say, they come in these shelves at the moment. In one shelf, I did get around, in the MRA case, 120, 105. In the new version, in one case, 560.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with numbers, and let's face it, if you still got the booklets, and what do we,
If you're like Rob, I'm just having a curated library, only the finest of the fine movies. But if you're like me, buying useless cat in the bag stuff, then you have to do this. Rob? No.
I can't argue with that.
Can you argue with that? No. That's what you get when you buy too much cat in the bags.
It's true. And too many Schnäppchens.
Yeah. Actually, not that many. Since I mostly buy them at release day, Rob. Because I'm impatient. I want to see them.
Well, on that note, I will thank everybody for generously supporting this show and the channel via super chats and tips and memberships. And we had a great membership call yesterday. It was always good to see you. I want to thank Tom Jr. Jackson and Lord Toth for moderating. Terrier says, fantastic physical media project going on in Norway right now. Crowdfunding in advanced Norwegian film classics going out on Blu-ray with full remastering. Well, that's really interesting. That I would like to know more about. What a cool thing. I mean, that's the way it should be. I haven't heard that, but that's really, really, really interesting. That's very, very cool. I'd like to hear more about that. So, Terry, that's awesome. I got to pick up, hopefully, I don't think it's a holiday weekend, so I couldn't go pick up your package yesterday, but hopefully I'm going to get that. So there you go. And on that note, where was I? Yes, so thank you to everybody. Thanks for our moderating staff. And, again, shout out. Hope this situation, I don't see the situation in Israel getting better anytime soon with some of the videos that are coming out now are just some of the most horrific things I've ever seen. I mean, this is all of it's very personal and it's very ugly. And once you see this kind of a threat, I mean, again, Israel's always facing existential threats. For people that don't understand, it was 50 years ago and a day from the Yom Kippur War where Israel suffered a sneak attack. I think it was Egypt and Syria attacked Israel, and they barely managed to pull it out. I mean, they're in an existential fight for their lives, and it's what people want to do is unfortunate, but it's the thing that people have wanted to do to the Jews for a very long time, and especially in that part of the world. So here's hoping for Israel to prevail. And honestly, I don't really care what happens to anybody else there after what we're seeing coming out of there, because it's not politics, it's vicious, it's extermination is what the attempt, that's what's going on. And when you're dealing with that, what do you do? I don't know. I hope for a peaceful solution quickly. And it's bad. But on that note, it has nothing to do with physical media. I just figured I would say that because it's very upsetting to me and upsetting to a lot of people. There was a concert. There was a concert going on. There were 3,000 people at this concert on the beach. 250 people at that concert were massacred now. They now have 250 bodies of people that were not all Israelis either. There were people from around the world. There was a German national that was killed. And 250 people at a concert massacred. That's not a political statement. I mean, no. That's indiscriminate evil murder, and that's not what goes on. That's not what Israel does, and that's what Israel's opposition does, and that's what they always wanted to do. And that's only 250 people at a concert of 3,000 that were on the beach at a concert. I mean, for what reason? Why did this happen? Because Hamas is an elected terrorist organization. They always have been, and they're murderers. And now what they have chosen to bring down on their own people is horrific. Didn't have to be this way. Make no mistake, this was the fault of Hamas, backed by Iran. And it's unfortunate, but anyway, that's what happens now. Hamas did this to their own people the way they've always done this to their own people. They've used their own people as human shields, and now they've taken people hostage. It's really horrific. Really, really horrific. But concert goers, it's really bad. But anyway, on that happy note, thank you all for being here, and we'll see how this all plays out. But we'll be back next week with more great
with
physical
or
media.
without me.
And no, you got to come. You're going to be back. But we have more to complain about because Rosemary's Baby comes out this week.
Ooh, yeah.
And how about that cover?
But but
how come they couldn't have? How does Paramount give Face Off to Kino Lorber, but they don't give Rosemary's Baby to Kino Lorber? Because they keep it, because I know it's a prestige title for the studio, but at least Kino Lorber would have given us the original key art, not that at least horrible abomination.
Yeah, but at least you get the Criterion cover underneath the drop. It's just the O-ring that features that horrendous artwork.
Yeah,
underneath you get the normal one.
It is true. All right, on that note.
So if you want drop, you can, like I do, with my Mordecai O-ring, throw it away.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
I will see you around. Dr. Fauci's Prison Butt slipped one in at the last minute saying, any news on the Lawrence of Arabia 4K re-release? Just keep checking Sony Pictures website and others and I find nothing. Also, what about Last Samurai? No word on Last Samurai, but they're re-releasing the Lawrence of Arabia Steelbook. So check that out.